Hot damn.
Yes, indeed. Look at my wood, chat. Isn't it big and glorious?
Hello, friends! Hello, welcome on in. Hello, Mr. Potato Head and Grum and Lily. I appreciate you all being here. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? It is, what's today? Today's Thursday, which is not normally a day that I stream, but here we are. Here we are, because I didn't stream on Tuesday. But hello, I hope you all are doing well. I've got some beverages. I've got some chalky milk. I've got some water. I'm ready to go. Ready to play a new game. But let me know how you all are doing. As you may see, title of the game is Echoes. It is a new game that was very, very, very generously gifted to us by Novabox. As far as I say. So Novabox has gifted us this game. So during this game and any other games that were gifted, during this game, when we get into the game, you're going to see that the sound alerts will not be there. Shout outs for anybody will not have the clip that plays, because we want to make sure that we respect the people who have been so gracious to give us this game. But what is this game? You may be asking, what is Echoes, besides the thing that you hear multiple times after it's only been said once? Echoes is a visual novel where we are going to be traveling to the little town of Greenhearth, and we're going to see if we can solve a murder. But along the way, we're going to try not to awaken any Eldritch horrors, because I don't know about you, I don't necessarily want to come too close to Cthulhu, or the monster in yellow, or the king in yellow, I should say, or anything like that. So we're going to see if we can solve a murder without losing our damn minds and without awakening any crazy beasties. Enjoy your lurks. Enjoy your lurks. Hi, Ralph. How you doing? How you doing? You did hear murder. You did, in fact, hear murder. We are going to be playing Echoes, where we are trying to solve a murder. We are not doing the murdering. I promise you, we are not doing the murdering, but we are going to be solving a murder. It's fine. Listen. We have also on this channel played Danganronpa, so I understand the appeal. I do. I promise. Enjoy your lurk, Lily. So yeah, we are gonna solve a murder in the rural American Northwest. Now, I don't know about you, but anything rural is rough. You did it, Ralph. Ralph, you can't be outing yourself like that. But the other thing about this game is that it's all hand painted, which is very, very interesting. Because I'll be honest, I haven't played a game quite like that. It's also, I don't know if it's too much of a spoiler. I apologize if it is, but it is also primarily in black and white until we are able to restore the color. It is black and white until we're able to restore color as we move through the story. Painting stream when? What do you mean painting stream when? I didn't know I was doing a painting stream. We can consider a painting stream, but I suck at painting. Maybe we'll do a stream where I just color in a coloring book. I was just in I get to solve it. Wait, extra life what's the extra life question? What's the extra life question, King? You just wrote extra, oh, like an extra life milestone? Is that what you mean? Chat says so. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not artistic that way. I'm not artistic that way. Candy painting stream? Well, we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. All right, but let's dive into it, shall we? Look at this. Look at this. So look at this is the Saul hand paint. Oh, yeah, you can hear it. Okay. I was like, you should be able to hear the piano music that I've been hearing for quite some time. You know. No, sound alerts. Sound alerts are closed. You won't hear them. I'll give you your points back. But the sound alerts will not play while we are respecting the games that have been gifted to us. That's also why you'll see anything won't take you monies. Same thing with shoutouts. Shoutouts will not have the clips that play because we want to make sure that we can give all the attention, as much as the attention, because I know my face is in the way, as much of the attention to the game as we can. So let's go ahead and get started. I write these last lines before I lose my mind for good. I cannot allow the truth to die with me. I'm writing really hard right now. I have to remember. I am Inspector Ricky Fox. Okay, so this is Ricky Fox. We see him. Arthur Petrovsky. His death, it was no suicide. And that's just one small detail of this case. The others, I can feel them closing in. I don't have much time before they... Oh. The blood. The blood. My memory is clouded, but I have to remember. It all began 6 months ago. I was happy. I'd just been promoted to the rank of detective in a quiet neighborhood. I was married to a wonderful woman, Jody. Hello! Hello! Y'all coming in just as we getting started. Just as we are getting started. Hello! Hello. Alright, we'll go back to this. Hold up.
Born. Fuck yeah, everybody's living their life now. And I'm fucking got food. This is going great.
That's a Yoshi.
Anything?
That's a Yoshi. Hello, friends. Hello, welcome on in. Yoshi, how was the pew 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 as an Apex? How was it? Welcome on in, Raiders. Hello, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Candy. I'm a variety streamer, and today we are trying Echoes, which is a visual novel. It's a hand-painted game, and we're solving a murder. Ralph says that they did the murder, but we don't know that Ralph did the murder. We don't know. We don't know. You didn't get one win? I'm sorry. Plenty of top 2, 3s, and 5s. What do you want Echoes about? That's the name of the game, Yoshi. Name of the game. We're in rural Northwest America, and we are going to try to solve a murder without going crazy. I don't know that we're not going to go crazy. Murder? That's right, you heard it. Murder. It's a murder. Yoshi with the 10. Okay, self-care is best care. You're right. You're right. I'm going to be doing a lot of reading. I should make sure that I'm taking care of myself. I'm going to hydrate. Murder. Penguins, how you doing? Yoshi, how you doing? Yada, welcome on in. Welcome on in. How you doing? I appreciate the raid. This is going to be quite a shift. This is going to be quite a shift for everyone who has joined from Apex, because we're going to be reading. We're going to be solving murders. How be thee? I am good. I am good. No, Dan, you weren't supposed to beat Tails. You weren't supposed to beat Tails. It's okay though. I hope it was everything that you wished for. I hope you had so much fun. I hope you had so much fun. But yeah, so we're gonna go back to our murder mystery. Here it is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. This is Jody. This he says I was married to a beautiful woman, so I'm gonna guess that the marriage might be over. It might be over. I am so sorry, Ricky, that somehow your marriage fell apart. Oh shit. We decided to start a family. Chris, my son, are you safe? And then the news struck us like a slug in the jaw. Oh wait, this is our best friend. Us. Okay, you still have the DLC. You got this. You got this, Dan. Our best friend, Arthur Petrovsky, was dead. I'm gonna stumble over Petrovsky every time. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Jody was inconsolable. Our ties with him had been pretty stretched since he'd moved to the other side of the country, but still, we couldn't accept the results of the inquiry. Suicide? It was so out of character. On June 30th, we received his ashes with no explanation. Apparently, Jody and I had been listed out the insurance as his only emergency wait, he had no other emergency contacts? This man had moved all the way across and had no emergency contacts? Hello, Clamps. Welcome in. I tried to find out more through the internal police files. I ignored protocol and even asked my colleagues for a few favors. Nothing checked out. The investigation had been led by a team from the Bureau, and they'd locked everything down. Something about the case smelled wrong. What would the feds have to do with the death of a small-town doctor in the middle of nowhere? In a last-ditch effort, I picked up the phone and called Arthur's local police station. We gonna be going all the way to the Northwest because we don't trust them to do their job. We don't trust them. That's really what this is coming down to. We ain't trusting them. I got the sheriff, Gianna Walter. She wasn't thrilled with the idea, but she finally agreed to let me take a look at the file. All right, we doing this then. We doing this. Even though it was in no way official, I fully intended to seize the opportunity to do my own investigating. I took some leave and jumped into my car. Damn, we left our kid and wife behind. We left everybody behind. How was the workday? Workday was good, Clamps. How was your workday? How was your workday? I hope it was smooth. Such black and white. It does start out as quite a film noir. It does. How you doing, Yeti? Welcome on in. Welcome on in. This is all like hand painted and stuff too, which is really cool. They really put a lot of effort into this. So I really like the way the art is done, and there will be color. We did see some red blood. We did see some red blood. If only I'd known what was there, waiting for me. Echoes, Episode 1, Greenhearth. Arthur had lived in Greenhearth, a small town on the end of the country, sandwiched between two nature reserves. It might have been a backwater, but the surroundings were magnificent. Green forest of pine and cloak clung to the sides of the mountains that overhung the valley. I believe in you, Dan. I believe you can finish them. Just like I believe we can solve a murder without going crazy. Hopefully. Maybe. Or maybe we awaken an Eldritch horror. I don't know. Maybe we do. Maybe we just roll with it. Maybe we make a new friend. I'm okay with making a new friend, even if he may or may not be Cthulhu. You know, that's fine. So what if we make friends with Cthulhu? That's fine. He's not that bad. I think. The town was accessible by It is Lovecraft inspired. There are Eldritch horrors. There are. Town was accessible by a single road that bypassed the reservoir dam, which provided the region's power before winding down to the main street. Didn't take me long to find the precinct. A few minutes later, I was stepping through the door. Gianna Walter was a frosty woman who didn't like a job poorly done. Well, then how did she let them get away with not solving the murder? First thing I noticed as I approached her desk were her arctic blue eyes that stared at me with disturbing intensity. Oh, we got the color in her eyes. She's looking at us. Detective Fox, I presume? I'm Sheriff Gianna Walter. Good to meet you. You too. I can't do men's voices. I'm sorry. I can't. She looking like a White Walker? Damn, King. That's cruel. Dr. Petrovsky and I were very close. His death, especially in these circumstances, was a big shock to my wife and me. As for the inquiry, King's about to make dinner. Listen, maybe we can get him to do something with us next week. I'm gonna play this through. Maybe next week we'll get him to help us do some voices. Look, Detective, I understand you're grieving for your friend, but I assure you, everything was done by the book. You can see for yourself. Really? Weren't you surprised that the Bureau was looking into the case? Yes, the Bureau took the case seriously. One more reason to trust their conclusions, don't you agree? In theory, this kind of incident was dealt with by the local police, except in exceptional cases. I was pretty sure that the sheriff was aware of that, which led me to believe she wasn't going to be very cooperative. I predicted that she'd let me take a glance at the file and nothing more. Well, anyway, I guess you must be pretty tired from your journey. I took the liberty of booking you a room at the Golden Sky. Maybe you'd like to get some rest before you get started? Do we want rest or do we just want to not waste? I feel like we don't want to waste time, right? Like, what are we wasting time for? You just tell me what I need to know. Listen, it's still early. Let's not waste any time. All right, then. I'm listening. Where do you want to start? Damn, we got investigate already? Okay, let's see the case file. Of course, however, I should warn you, there's not much to see. What does that mean? Most of the documents, like the autopsy report, for example, were requisitioned by the feds. Of course the feds took everything. Of course. All right, she's going to show us what's left. During your adventure, Ricky Fox will have to search for clues in some scenes. A radar will appear on the screen to help you discover the clues. You can leave certain scenes by any point by pressing the quit button, which will appear on the left, or by pressing the arrow back. Okay. Oh, okay, so we'll have the red lines. Okay. His phone. His last call was to an Ernest Bull. The sheriff could probably fill me in on his identity. The man might have been the last person Arthur spoke to before he died. Well, we should talk to him then. The rest of the device's memory had been erased. Arthur must have made the call after he deleted everything. I mean, they really tried to make it seem like it was a suicide. Wasn't much, but it was still a lead up. Okay. Notebook. Might contain medical secrets, but Arthur had been careful and concise. Consent-ish? No names appeared, only initials. Apparently, Arthur's patients mostly suffered from psychiatric problems. Why do I feel like that means that they're all seeing all these horrors? The most recent entry concerned an OM. It was dated the day of his death. What is wrong with me today? Just underneath, in a half page of nervous scrawl, Arthur had added, "The chimes ring out without a sound." Okay, chimes and sound are all uppercase. I feel like we need to remember that. "They cast a strange tale in my head. I will become consumed by the echoes of their song." I didn't know what to think of all that. Everything seemed to suggest that Arthur had lost his marbles at the end of his life, which made the suicide theory credible. It all seemed pretty fishy to me. The Arthur I knew had no history of mental illness. What kind of scrape did you get yourself into? Between the medical jargon and that troubling message, I had at least the start of a lead. This OM just had to find out their identity and question them. Solace in the box. Solace in the box. All right, do you have any leads? Does she have any leads? A lead? That file's been classified. So no, I don't have any leads for you, detective. No persons of interest? You must have heard from some of the witnesses during the inquiry before the Bureau guys took hold, didn't you? She sighed. You could try talking to Raymond. He's one of the people I questioned after death. Remember not to die, it ain't good for your health? Well, I'm gonna try not to die, but I might go crazy first. I might go crazy. Raymond? Just Raymond? Raymond Kowalski, but very few people know his last name. He's a vagrant. Do you know where I can find him? He spends his days hanging around the diner. Oh, the Green Hearth Diner. You could be crazy and alive. I could, in fact, be crazy and alive. I am going to hope to be crazy and alive. I'm going to hope for it. Can I ask you why this Raymond is a person of interest? During the initial inquiry, several witnesses reported that Arthur had been spending a lot of time with him in his final days before his death. Obviously, he's been interviewed several times during the investigation, first by me, then by investigators from the Bureau, but nothing conclusive. Raymond's extremely paranoid, and that's without even taking into account his mistrust of forces of law and order. Of course, you can try talking to him, but I don't think you'll have any more success than we did. I'm still gonna give it a try. You never know. You're probably wasting your time, but that's up to you, detective. Well, alright, she thinks we're wasting our time. That's okay. But what can she tell us about Ernst? Oh, he's the manager of the hotel we're gonna stay at. Okay, okay. The phone records show the last call Arthur made was to him. I know. As you might guess, that lead took us nowhere. Bull's a busybody and a mischief maker. I'm not surprised he was meddling. Who do we need? We need... I don't know. Who do we need? Twitch decided to update while you were using it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna ask him about it. Oh, well, the sound alerts are all muted, Yada. They're all muted. You know where to find him. Alright, let's see what her relationship with Arthur was like. He was a town doctor. He had a lot of patients with some serious psychological problems. Some of them potentially dangerous. They're muted while we are playing a game that has been gifted to us. That's why they're muted. That's also why the shoutouts won't show up here. Because we want to make sure that we respect the space and the art that was given to us. So they're going to be muted. They'll be on the regular screens, though. The general screens. General screens. I can speak. I can speak. Alright, so Ernst Bull is exactly like Raymond. So sometimes he'd ask me to step in. Oh wait, Arthur was he liked? You'll see that when you talk to the townsfolk. His death has been a tragedy. Oh, okay, his death is a tragedy. His death is a tragedy. And when we asked the sheriff if she liked him, she hesitated. Were they banging? Were they banging? Oh, on the main page, they're available. If we go here, you'll be able to hear everything and see clips. But when we're here, it's all the game. And the birds that are chirping in my ears. Okay, so she says they had an excellent professional relationship. Tell me more about the circumstances around... Oh, that's a way to be found. He was found in his bathtub, bled dry. That doesn't sound like the Arthur I knew. What do you know about the autopsy report? Feds took care of everything. I didn't see the report, but they confirmed there was no possible doubt. What about the cremation? Arthur said he always wanted to be buried. Oh, shit. Wait, so they went against his wishes? That's the procedure here. Sorry I can't tell you more. Arthur knew the risk when he accepted... Knew the risk? What risk? What risk? Better than the guy at work that got found eaten by his dogs. How you doing, Lars? How you doing? Great start to this. It's fine, Yada. It's fine. The procedure. What procedure? Figured I'd have other ways of finding out more without putting the sheriff. Who found the body? She found the body. Okay, she's suspicious. She's suspicious. What were you doing in his home? When he didn't show up at his practice, I decided to go to his apartment. That's how I found him. Oh, she got a key to his house? She got a key to his house? I'm alright, Lars. We are playing Echoes, which is a game that was gifted to us by Nova Fox. We're going to solve a murder, try not to go crazy, and try not to have an Eldritch horror. They bang it. That's what I'm thinking, Yeti. That's what I'm thinking. I'm feeling like there's something there. All right, we're going to the diner because you know what? I'm hungry. We're going to the diner. It's a meeting spot. It's the kind of place you can reasonably find home cooking or a coffee before work. Most town people probably come and eat here pretty often. How often do y'all eat at your diners? I'm curious. How often y'all eating at your diners? I mean, I feel like King and I used to eat pretty often at our diners, but now not as much. Not as much. I don't know why. Just as soon as I went through the door, I felt the eyes of regulars measuring me up. I decided to ignore them and take a seat by the window. Oh, hello. Hello. I'd hardly sat down when a pretty, oh, so he notices she's pretty, but dejected young woman came over to pour me some coffee. She's Liz. Apparently the diner where we used to live is good again. It got sold again? Damn. Damn. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the Green Hearth Diner. Can I get you something? The house special is blueberry pie. Did you know Arthur Petrovsky? Yes, Dr. Petrovsky? I knew him. Everyone knew him. But I've got work to do and... Arthur was my friend. I just want to know what happened to him. If you know something. Arthur. Yes. He was my friend too. I don't know what to tell you. He killed himself. And now he's dead. That's it. Another coffee, sir? I'm looking for a guy named Raymond. Where can I find him? Oh, he comes in here a lot. I give him coffee, even if the boss told me not to. Alright, so she's pointing us in the direction of Raymond. You got lucky. He just arrived. I heard everybody loves Raymond. King, you are dating yourself with these jokes. You are dating yourself with these jokes. Thanks, Liz. I'll go talk to him. Oh, damn. I don't think everybody loves this Raymond. I don't know if everybody loves this Raymond. Raymond looked like a plain old hobo at first glance. But when you talk to him, you quickly realize that something about him wasn't quite right. He reminded me of certain people I'd questioned during my career. The person who'd once had it all at one point in their life before circumstances converged to cast them into the gutter. In any case, he was obviously nervous. What do you want from me? Just to ask a few questions. Questions? Questions about what, kid? About the death of Arthur Petrovsky. King is laughing at my poor attempt to do voices. You know what? Next time he's just going to have to come sit here and do this with me. Yeah. He committed suicide. Got a problem with that? Yes. That's why I'm here. Oh, King said he will next time. Alright, you heard it here, folks. Episode 2 is going to have King. You heard it here. You can't start a voice now and then not come back. That's right. Give it up, man. Nothing good will come out of poking in that. I was told you were close, you and Arthur. I'd like to hear your version of the facts. What's it got to do with you? Well, you know what? We'll be honest with this guy. This guy seems rough around the edges. We're just going to be honest. He was my best friend. I just want to know what happened to him. And you're asking old Raymond, the guy who stinks of booze, who everyone wants to see the back of? Something tells me Arthur didn't feel that way about you. Am I wrong? Ha! That's a joke. He was your best buddy, but you don't know anything about him. He ditched me, just like the others. All of them traitors. All traitors in the shitty town. Raymond heaved a long sigh before taking a mouthful of coffee. Okay, you're the cops, but you're not from round here, right? Yes, but... No buts. It's all over for me. But you, maybe you'll get somewhere, so I'm gonna throw you a bone here. Perhaps that way you'll get off my back. I'm sure there's stuff hidden in Petrovsky's place. I'd have had to snoop around myself, but everyone's watching me. If I so much as move a muscle, they'd be down on me like a ton of bricks. And old Raymond doesn't want to end up in the can, if you catch my meaning. I guess the sheriff didn't give you the address. I'm not saying he's not happy, but, I mean, does he look happy? Does he look happy? He looks kind of not happy. He scrolled down a napkin and slid it across to me, glancing out the corner of his eyes as if he were being watched. Thanks. Don't thank me. Nothing good'll come of scratching around in this steaming heap of shit. Let's... Can we keep questioning him? I've got nothing more to tell you. Can't you leave old Raymond alone? Okay, so nothing else. Anything from Liz? Another coffee, sir? No, I guess not. Alright, so Ernst. Located on the lakeside, the Golden Sky was a plush lodge. Oh, wait. I could have investigated more there? Jody, I would have loved to take you to a place like this. The summer season had begun, but the hotel was still empty. Nobody comes here. Apparently nobody comes here. I'd hardly gotten through the door when I was warmly welcomed by a plump man trotting down the stairs. Ernst Bull, the hotel manager. I recall his smile. Hello, and welcome to the Golden Sky. Detective Fox, I presume. Glad to have you here. Good to meet you. I see you're well informed. Oh, you know, news gets around fast in our little town. But you can leave your bags here. I'll have them taken up to your room. Great. Can I do anything else for you? Let's ask about the call. I'm investigating Dr. Petrovsky's death, and it would seem you were the last person he called from his cell phone. What'd he say to you? Look, I won't deny he called me, but it was a private conversation, and I'd like it to stay that way. Come on, you can trust me. My lips are sealed. Bull hesitated a few seconds, weighing the pros and cons, then he finally said, I hope you can keep this to yourself. Silent as the grave, you have my word. All right, I just don't want this kind of thing to get around. He wanted to book a room for him and a young woman, but they never showed up. I guess you could understand why I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to tarnish the good doctor's memory. How do you know who he planned to share a room with? That's simple. He asked me to show her up to her room if she arrived before he did. I guess he wanted to keep their little meeting quiet, if you know what I mean. I see. And this young woman, I'm guessing you know her? He waved me to come closer before murmuring, "Ah, shit." It was Liz Cole. She's a waitress at the family diner. Thanks. Well, now we gotta go back to Liz. Another coffee, sir? You got a relationship with Arthur? You got a relationship with Arthur? I've heard some information that suggests your relationship with Dr. Petrovsky was more than a casual friendship. Can you tell me more? You're making a mistake. People are mean. That's nothing but dirty gossip. It's disgusting how people could think such things about the doctor. Are you sure there's no reason why people would say that? I was one of his patients. That's why there are rumors. Arthur was always kind to me, but he was just my doctor and... He's gone. It's just impossible that he... I'm sorry. Can we talk about something else? Thinking about it makes me sad. I'm sorry to insist, but how do you explain Arthur booking a room for you and him at the Golden Sky? A hotel room? I don't know. I didn't know. You have to believe me, sir. I didn't know. The doctor never said anything to me. I didn't know, I promise you. You believe me, don't you? She seemed distraught and sincere. Come on, there's no point getting all worked up. I believe you. Thank you, Miss Cole. She truly did not seem to know about the hotel room business. How does she not know? How does she not know? All right, let's go search the apartment. Look at the kitty! There's a kitty. Who let this kitty be here by themselves? Who let this kitty be there by themselves? It's located... His apartment is in a well-located building in the town center. Okay. I approached it discreetly, but contrary to what Raymond seemed to believe, the building didn't look like it was under surveillance. Okay, but you know what? No building ever looks like it's under surveillance, and then all of a sudden you're there, and it's like, stop, don't go in there. And all of a sudden you got people following behind you, and before you know it, you've been caught. Before you know it, you've been caught. All right. I approached it discreetly, but contrary to what Raymond seemed to believe, it didn't look like it was under surveillance. Okay, I read that. The police had taped the door, but it wasn't locked. I pushed it and found myself faced with a total shambles. But look at the kitty! Rip, I guess. What do you mean you guess? Look at the kitty. This poor cat's been having to fend for itself. This poor cat sounds like a personal experience. What? No, I didn't say that. Look at the kitty. Arthur's old cat. Kept its distance and watched me. The sound of the little bell around its neck reminded me the last time I'd seen it. It hadn't really taken to me, but with Jody, well, maybe we should have brought Jody with us. My goodness. Maybe we should have brought Jody. Oh, that's cool though, Yada. What is that from? What's that from? Every time I tried to get close, the cat hightailed it. This cat does not trust us. This cat does not trust us. Okay, there's his computer. Let's see. What else can we investigate? I feel like we can look at the cupboard. No? No cupboard. Okay, what's this? Oh, that's just... Okay. Well, I'm also going to raise this up a little bit. Okay, so anytime we see, like, the red... Not even sure. I have no idea. I was like, maybe there's something... Nothing with the book. Oh, I was like, I have to be missing something. A business card left by the manager of the Golden Sky. Okay. I'd been sure Bull was hiding something. A date and time for meeting had been jotted down the back of the card. He had some explaining to do. What had they been up to? There were other clues to find, but I decided to leave that task for later. Especially since the card might help me loosen his tongue. Another self-care is best care. Thank you. Let me get a nice stretch for you. And some water. Although I'm also going to have some chalky milk. Everybody hydrate. Everybody stretch. Okay. 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 Alright. You can have some, Yada. You can have some. Alright, let's go back to talk to Bull. Ah, Detective Fox, what can I do for you? I feel like I already lost his voice. That's okay. I found this business card in Arthur's apartment. There's a date for a meeting written on the back. Can you explain that to me? His face, cheerful and friendly up until now, suddenly hardened. The appearance of the clue seemed to annoy him. Oh, he mad. Look at that face. Look at that face. He mad. Damn, Yada. I say you could have some chocolate milk. Not all of it. Don't be scarfing it all down. Also, Leo's status is that he's sleeping somewhere. Our cat is sleeping somewhere. He's in the office. How long is this game? It is, I believe, 6 chapters. I don't know how long each chapter is because I went into this game not knowing anything. I wanted to be pretty much as spoil-free as possible, so the only thing I know is what is on the Steam store, which you can also, if you want to see like what's on the Steam store, you can click on the pinned post in the chat, so you'll be able to see the Steam store page, which will bring you to if you want to wishlist it, if you want to take a look, if you want to see some of the other artwork, you can go ahead and look at it there. It's also available on Switch, so it's on Steam and Switch. We're playing on Steam right now. Hey, come on, are you kidding me? I already had to explain myself to the feds, so I have to go over this again with you? Yes, you're gonna have to. We're gonna be nice about it. I feel like if we're too mean and we say he played us for a sucker, he's gonna shut down. So we're gonna go with you're in no danger. I just want to understand what happened to my friend. You're in no danger talking to me. Look, I promise you, I had nothing to do with Petrovsky's death. Its symbol came to me with all the stuff about the bells. Bells? What's that supposed to mean? Petrovsky had become completely erratic. All I know is he gave one to Redmond just before he died. It's him you should be talking to. And you say this information brought you trouble? What kind of trouble? I tried to tell the team from the Bureau, but all I got was a warning. They made it clear to me I'd better keep my mouth shut. I got the message loud and clear and don't want to talk about this business anymore. Alright, so we're going back to Raymond. Figured he told me something important without realizing. The stuff about the bells. Maybe that's what I was missing. Okay, so this is now we're hearing about the bells again. Up until then, the investigation had seemed open and shut. I just didn't know how wrong I was. You don't know what, Grum? You don't know what? Oh, so now we just have... Okay, so we already searched the apartment, so we just have these two. So let's go talk to Raymond again. I do like the Switch, but I like it for certain games. I think you have to be very mindful of what games you're getting for the Switch. This is a game that would play very well on the Switch. I like my RPGs on the Switch. I like my visual novels on the Switch. I don't really play any crazy, like, action-oriented stuff on the Switch, so I think this will play, like, really smoothly on the Switch, and then you could put it on the big screen TV. When I got back to the diner, Raymond was gone. Faithful to her post, Liz came over to greet me. Hello again, Mr. Fox. What can I get you? You want another cup of coffee? No, Liz, that's kind of you, but I'm looking for Raymond. You know where he is? Sorry, Mr. Fox, he left a while ago. Swaying Sectord, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much for the follow. And you don't know where I can find him? No, I'm sorry. I don't think he'll be back here today. Okay, thanks, Liz. You're welcome, Mr. Fox. Oh, perfect time for a commercial break. Perfect time for a commercial break. Ads are going to run for 3 minutes. I will be back. I'm going to get myself some more aguas. Y'all enjoy the stretches. I've got my aguas. I know we still have about 20 seconds till the ad's finished, but I've got my water. I'm ready. We're back. Make sure you got your drinks. Make sure you got everything you need. Did you get your stretches in? I got my stretches in. I got up from the seat. I got water. I put my cup in the sink. Gotta do all the things. Gotta do all the things. Alright, the ad break should be over. Everyone should be back. Let's hop back into it. Liz said we are welcome. She told us that unfortunately Raymond is no longer here. So we'll have to find him. But I guess for now, all we can do is go to the hotel. All we can do is go to the hotel. Welcome back, Clamps. Ooh. Alright, alright. I did raise the music up. Raymond had vanished. It was late and I only wanted one thing, a good night's sleep. I decided to leave the next part of my investigation for tomorrow. Resigned, I went to the hotel to rest and think. Clearly there was something not quite right about this town. What could not be right about this town? In the rural northwest of America, where nobody stays at the hotels and people are hearing chimes in their heads. Arthur had been involved in something shady. I tried to reach Jody, but got her answer phone. The answer phone? The voicemail? In any case, I didn't have much to tell her. It was too soon to have a solid theory about what was going on in Greenhearth. The hotel was comfortable, as it seemed, and I collapsed into my bed. The morning sun seeped between the curtains into my room, illuminating patterns carved into the hard wood, paneled walls. The understated luxury of the hotel almost made me forget the town's ominous nature. Wow, Clamps. Wow, I see what you did there. I was ready to investigate and find out the truth of my friend's death. I felt invincible. What a fool. I should have left while there was still time. I should have gone back to my wife and forgotten the strange little backwater. First thing I did that morning was go back to talk to Raymond. I needed to clear up the business about the bells. Unfortunately, the vagrant wasn't around. Was he avoiding me, or was this simply bad luck? Oh, hello, Mr. Fox. Liz hurried over to pour me some coffee. Would you like a piece of pie today? Or maybe bacon and eggs? It's breakfast. Let's get the eggs. I'll take the bacon and eggs. Okay then, Mr. Fox. I'll get that for you right away. Hold on. You seen Raymond today? No.
Bacon and eggs.
King literally just gave me bacon and eggs. No, he hasn't been in the diner this morning. I'm sorry. Anything else, Mr. Fox? No, that's all. Thanks, Liz. I just hit the first snag of the day, and something told me it wouldn't be the last. Okay, Clamps, the everybody loves Raymond joke was already made. King already made the joke. A man from the Dark Ages, that name? What do you mean? It's not the Dark Ages. Not the Dark Ages. Clamps, don't leave us. Come back. Come back. The fact that Raymond wasn't there yet didn't tell me much. Had I been dealing with Arthur's killer? His behavior and attitude were certainly fishy, but it was still too soon for a working hypothesis. I'd like some of the eggs. You know, I'm not a huge fan of bacon, but I will have like a piece or two. That's about it. I had work to do and I wondered where I should start. Where do you guys think we should start? Should we go back to the detective? Should we go to the hotel? Should we speak to the waitress again? Or should we go to the apartment? What do you think is the best course of action? For the record, we are also police, just not from this area. So we are doing our own investigation. But what if I am the police, Clams? Yeti Mike says Ernst. So we've got a vote for the police and a vote for Ernst. Ernest. I don't know why I keep saying Ernst. But you need backup in case you get framed. I mean, Clamps could be onto something here. Clamps could be onto something. Alright, how do you feel about going to the police first and then the hotel manager? Thoughts? Thoughts on this? I mean, we're also at the diner so we can speak to Liz, but we can start with the detective. Morning, detective. Did you sleep well? The rooms at the Golden Sky are very nice. Thanks for booking a room there. Damn, Grum just came in and said they're useless. So tell me, how's your investigation going? Were you able to talk to Raymond? Was it enough to put your mind at ease? It's a bit too soon to start drawing conclusions. Although I would have liked to ask him more questions, I can't seem to get a hold of him. I guess you've already stopped by the Green Hearth Diner? That's where I started. Look, I can't say I'm surprised he's made himself scarce. I did warn you to his mistrust of the forces of order, didn't I? The old fella has to spend his nights somewhere out in the rain and cold, right? Have you really got no idea where the popular spots with the homeless are in your jurisdiction? I'll assume you don't know the town very well yet, Fox, or you wouldn't ask me that. The population of Greenhearth has decreased fourfold. It's decreased fourfold over the last 50 years. Y'all ain't worried about the number of people that you've lost in this town? God damn. Okay. In your dreams? Oh, Lynetta from Sucker for Love? Okay, so there's a whole bunch of abandoned buildings here that he could be in. He can't have gotten far. Since Petrovsky's death, the police station has been responsible for delivering his patients' prescriptions. The next delivery should arrive today. Wait, so this guy was the only doctor? So now we have police giving prescriptions? The police are not doctors. Guys, do not take your prescriptions from cops. Please don't do that. That's a strange way to go about it. Okay, Petrovsky's patients need special doses. Special doses. Love the tag, my Spanish is bad, my Spanish is bad. It is. What if my doctor is also a cop? Well, I don't know. Until a new doctor arrived, wow, so she's the one. Okay, see, this is sketchy to me. So until a new doctor is sent to town, the lab sends the prescriptions to the detective, and she gives them to the patients? I don't like the sound of this. I don't like the sound of this. Are you saying that Petrovsky's patients are dangerous? Yes, some do pose a potential threat, especially since they're unsettled by his death. You shouldn't have kept this information from me. Do you realize you've put me in danger for no reason? Look, Fox, you're still in one piece, right? For two, what do you think? I've already been kind and patient enough to let you pursue your little inquiry on my turf, and I didn't sign up to have you come whining in my office. If you want to make yourself useful, seeing as how you're so determined to track down Raymond, drop by later and I'll give you his medication. That should help you bring him in. Oh damn, Lars, that's not great. That's not great. I feel like they should have done something about that. I'm sorry though, Lars. I'm sorry. I'm sorry y'all gotta go through this. But also it sounds like it's time for a new vet. Don't thank me yet. You'll see. It'll be no picnic. Until then, beat it. I'm gonna ask her if she's got any other leads. Look, Fox. I've already been kind and patient enough to put up with you here, despite the fact that your little investigation has got, I remind you, absolutely zero official status. Surely you don't expect me to do your job for you. And let me remind you, I'm not here to be at your beck and call. I've got 3 people to see about an accident on the dam today. Go beat it. Damn, she's rude. See, this is why we don't go to the Popo. This is why. She rude. Yeah, Lars, I would not go back there. I definitely would not go back there. Don't do it. Don't do it. Good morning, Detective. How are you this morning? Was the room to your liking, or is there anything I can do for your comfort? That's all he's got to say to us. That's it. Anything else from Liz? Nope. Okay. So back to Arthur's apartment. I guess we're going to be looking for bells? Rolled up my sleeve and began foraging for clues. Okay. Kitty! I managed to catch the cat. I took a good look at the bell. There was a number engraved inside. Had to be a clue. Okay, then he squirreled away skulking. Aww. When we taking you back to the hotel, he looked pretty healthy. It must have found someone to feed it. Oh. Okay. So the cat is coming in and out of the apartment. A bottle of whiskey. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we hadn't seen this yesterday. Wait. Wait. If the whiskey bottle wasn't there yesterday, is this maybe where Raymond is staying? Is this where Raymond is staying? Maybe it was a message left for my benefit. Where else should we explore? Bill for auto repairs. Okay. Someone tampered with the brakes? Someone tampered with the brakes? So somebody had been trying to kill him for a while. Mm-hmm. 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 Pedro Feta is his mechanic. What else we got? I feel like we should be able to turn on this computer and see what's there, but maybe there's nothing there. Hmm. I'm just like sliding up and down to see if something lights up. Oh, here we go. A sketch of Arthur. This wasn't the work of the beginning. Of a beginner. Is it a gift? Maybe it's a gift. Maybe it's a gift. OM is an artist. Okay. Okay. Put down the sketch when a detail caught my eyes. Hands. The artist had drawn a bell. Where did you draw a bell? Okay. Sorry. I just had to go back for a second. Okay, so we got the mechanic, the artist named OM, who we have to ask Liz who that is. So let's go back. Let's get some lunch. Do you know who OM is? Who's OM? Mr. Morrison? Okay. So the M has to stand for Morrison. Oscar Morrison. We figured out who OM is. One mystery solved. He's a strange man, but he's nice. Can you help me meet him? Oh, he often comes by the diner. You'll recognize him easily. He always wears a bowler hat. Are you talking about Final Fantasy? Okay, all I have to do is keep out a lookout for a man in a bowler hat. I'm guessing he's not there now. Wait, maybe? Oh my goodness. OM is old man. Oscar is not an old man. Look at him. Look at him. He thinks he looks smooth. Look at him. Oh, you're speaking... Okay, got it. His manners and his accent? Oh, fuck. Okay, y'all know that I'm really bad at accents. What sort of accent do you think I should attempt for this guy? You tell me. You tell me what accent you think I should attempt. Always French? Okay. Any other thoughts? Any other thoughts? We've got to vote for French. A vote for Brooklyn. But I don't think Brooklyn would make him feel uncomfortable. I don't know. Like, it's something that's making the detective feel uncomfortable. I mean, I don't know why French would either, but... German? Oh my god. Why, King? Why? We got French, Brooklyn, Hamptons. What's a Hamptons accent? I didn't realize the Hamptons had an accent. He strutted like an English lord, and despite his friendly demeanor, I could sense his disdain. Okay, so he walks around like an yuppie. Oh my god. He walks around like an English lord. I mean, I'm not going to assume that it should be British. He also spells his name Oscar, O-S-K-R, like instead of a C. And I feel like a lot of American would be, like with a C? I don't know. A dandified old guy. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try the French. Hold on. This is gonna be rough. Oh my god, I'm trying to think of how I even start with that first sentence. ho, ho, ho. Greetings, Mr. Fox. I can't even do it. I can't even fucking do it. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? I feel like then I'd be like, Monsieur Fox. What was the other one that was here? Brooklyn? Brooklyn and German. I feel like German I would just sound like I'm yelling. Just sound like I'm yelling. See, I can't do accents. I feel like King is walking over here to do an accent.
No.
Oh, okay. Someone called Mayday. Seriously.
Greetings, Mr. Fox. Oscar Morrison, delighted to finally make your acquaintance.
You hear this man behind me? You hear him?
Not offensively French, though.
I mean, that was a little offensively French. It's fine. Yeah. Good to meet you, too. Especially since I had some trouble finding him. We've just been sitting at this diner. To be perfectly honest, I was expecting you to come speak with me much sooner. In fact, I was on the verge of coming to introduce myself. But it was far too much fun watching you trot around like a headless chicken from one end of town to the other. I suppose you have some questions to ask me, no? Go ahead. You were a patient of Dr. Petrovsky, is that right? A rhetorical question, detective. We both know you know that answer. And since you know that I was Dr. Petrovsky's last patient, let us turn to the facts if you would. See, my accents are awful. They are atrocious. I'm sorry, friends. I'm sorry you have to hear these atrocious accents. What have you got to say in your defense? In my defense? I have nothing to say in my defense since I have been accused of nothing, no? Do allow me to remind you, Mr. Fox, that your investigation is in no way official. I see. In that case, maybe you could tell me a little bit more about your relationship with Arthur. I have nothing to tell you that is not covered by doctor-patient privilege, Mr. Fox. Petrovsky was a fine doctor, and I mourn his passing. Now, if it is all the same to you, I have to attend to my engagements. I had a very busy day. As for you, I don't know. Surely you must have some honest citizens to importune. It was going to be no walk in the park questioning Oscar Morrison. He was mixed up in this case, I was sure, but getting him to talk was going to take all my guile. I found a picture of Arthur drawn by you. Ooh, what's on your sandwich? What's on your sandwich? Yes, I am an artist, sir. I knew Petrovsky. Honestly, must I do your investigation for you? You must have been close for him to let you sketch him. I was his patient. He was my doctor. I draw whenever I have a moment. I imagine I did this portrait during one of our sessions. I do hope you'll excuse me if I don't recall every napkin I've doodled on, Mr. Fox. Still, there was something that caught my attention. Was it the quality of my line work? That's very kind, Mr. Fox, but I am accustomed to compliments. You won't get into my good books using flattery. No, I was thinking of the bell you drew in his hands. A bell? Really? I don't recall that detail. Oscar had stopped grandstanding. I needed to watch him like a hawk now. Where's that bell? The bell? Aye. That was a rhetorical question, Mr. Morrison. We both know that I know about the bells. I don't know now. Arthur gave me a bell. Yes. The feds, perhaps? Leave me alone, please. I don't feel well. He was ready to crack. It wouldn't take much to make him spill the beans. What now, Mr. Fox? Did you ever drink whiskey? I mean, do the French drink whiskey? Lettuce, mayo, bologna, hot peppers, and spices? Sounds delightful. Enjoy it. Enjoy your sandwich. Did you ever drink whiskey with Arthur? Yes, perhaps. Dr. Petrovsky enjoyed scotch, as do I. Is that a crime, Mr. Fox? No, it's not a crime. I did find a bottle of whiskey in his apartment. A bottle that wasn't there yesterday. Was that? How does that concern me? Do you know it's offensive punishment by law to enter a sealed place? Why go back to Petrovsky's apartment, Mr. Morrison? Did you have something on your conscience? No, You have no evidence for what you are suggesting. This time I had him. Fine. You win. Yes, Arthur gave me a bell just before he died, like several of his friends. 5 bells, 10 numbers. Who else got a bell? His cat has one in its collar? I don't know where the others are. I swear, Petrovsky, he was hiding something dangerous. The bells are the key. That's all I know. And your bell? Where is it? I gave it back to Hazard. Go back to his place. You will find it. Thank you, Mr. Morrison. Don't thank me, fucks. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into. I hope you'll remember I tried to protect you when you're done stirring up this hornet's nest. I was sure I hadn't seen any bell in Arthur's apartment. There was no harm in going back to check. What now, Mr. Fox? You think that was good? I don't know about that. But I guess that is now what, it's now what Oscar Morrison sounds like. It's now what he sounds like. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to the mechanic before we go back to the apartment. This Pedro Farah clearly wasn't too smart. He was odd, too, like the others. I was beginning to wonder if there was anyone normal in this town. Hola, Senor Sir Pedro. You have a car for repair? I hope you understood the language to communicate. Hello, Mr. Farah. I'm Detective Ricky Fox. I've got a few questions for you. Sí, senor. No hay problema por las questions. Pedro has nothing to hide. Honest business here. Sure it is, Mr. Farah, but I'm not here to talk about that. Tell me, did you repair Dr. Petrovsky's car recently? Do you remember? Ah, sí, I remember. Accident. That's what I hear. Can you tell me more about the repairs? Nothing to say. I no want no problems with la policía. We'll just say, don't worry. Don't worry. Took a sip of freezing cold water. I'm sorry. I'll take a sip of some water in solidarity and give you a nice little stretch. Don't worry, Mr. Farah. I don't want to involve the local police either. Dr. Petrovsky was my friend. I'm just trying to understand why he's dead. Entiendo. Problem with brake. Strange. Sabotage. Sabotage? You're telling me this was a criminal act? See. 3 other cars with the problem of brake last month. 3 other cars? Who else came with a brake problem? The fat man of the hotel. Ernst Bull. Alright, who else? Sheriff Walter and... Old man with a beard? An old man with a beard. Raymond? No. Raymond no have car. I don't remember his name. Pedro had responded too quickly. Maybe he knew more than he was telling? I should talk car repairs with everyone else. You know Raymond? Seems like everybody knows Raymond in this town. No lo conozco, pero es un cliente. A client? But you just told me Raymond's got no car. No sé. Come one day for a problem with radio, I fix all things. Raymond always kind with me. Still, he seems to be avoiding me. If you've done nothing wrong, you don't avoid the police. Don't you agree? It's easy to blame everything on Raymond. Raymond's a good guy. Maybe the only good guy. He's been through a lot and he's got a temper. It's a crime? You got it wrong, Fox. Raymond no dangerous. He in danger. That's why he hide. The mechanic's accent... Okay, so that was on purpose. Sorry, that was on purpose that he was talking that way. I thought that it was... Okay. Was this a cover he'd just broken? What makes you say that, Mr. Farah? Why would Raymond be in charge? Who wants to harm him? Raymond? Yes, mi amigo. He is kind with me. Come here for fix his radio. The moment after, he's once again unable to string 3 words together. Strange. Okay. So let's go. I feel like we have to go back to the apartment. Because I think we've gotten... Until Raymond comes back. Okay, so we're looking for a bell. If we can find anything that looks remotely like a bell. Oh, there's a bell. A bell in the shape of an elephant. I wasn't sure what was doing there my first visit. An outlandish object would have gotten my attention. So this was the cause of that visit when Morrison had forgotten the bottle of whiskey. Okay. He's devious. Why did Morrison want to get rid of it? Enjoy your lurk, Potato Head. Why had Arthur been so obsessed with these bells before his death? There's nothing special. It was the kind of thing you could pick up for a couple of dollars at any souvenir store. But someone had engraved numbers. What are the numbers? It's going to be an important clue. I didn't realize how important yet. Oh no, we can't see the numbers here. Okay, so we have to talk to the car repairs. Let's go back to the detective. Heard your car was tampered with recently. Why didn't you tell me? I'm not very popular here. There's nothing to prove that it's to do with the inquiry. Still, the mechanic mentioned several people had car troubles. A fact I was unaware of. You sure you told me everything? With respect to your investigation, yes, I promise you. Come back when you've got something solid, Mr. Fox. But we still think her reaction is suspicious. Don't be suspicious, but she is. Ernst? Was there anything else, Detective? Let's talk about the car accidents. You had any problems? Oh, now do you see why I'd rather you left me alone? When you mentioned you had a warning, was that what you were referring to? Why didn't you tell me? You don't know what you're getting yourself into, Fox. Take my advice, go home, and forget about this case. Or at least quit hassling me. I know you're hiding something. I don't owe you a thing, Mr. Fox. Help me out, and I'll help you. I never give out information without something in return. Sorry you won't cooperate, but you'll tell me what you know in the end. I can wait. Time will tell. He was hard to read, but I was beginning to understand what drove him. He collected information like a philatist? Philatist? Collected stamps. A stamp collector collects stamps. Just needed to find something to trade. Let's talk about the bells. I know that Arthur gave out bells to his patients just before he died. Ah, Mr. Fox, you interest me. I'm all ears. Arthur's cat had one in its collar. There are numbers engraved. You're telling me nothing new, Detective. You'll have to do better than that. AMC, hello. Hello. Let me switch over real quick. Hello, welcome on in. Thank you for the raid. How's it going? How is Minecraft on the new server? Let's get a clip over here. How you doing? How's it going? How's it going? You died? I'm sorry. Dying is not good for your health, as Yada tells me all the time. Yada tells me all the time that it's not good for your health. I apologize for your death. I hope that next time you live a nice long life. I don't know how that works in Minecraft, but I hope it's a good one. I ordered food and then arrived in the middle. Oh. Womp womp. It's okay. There's always the next Minecraft life. There's always the next one. There's always the next one. Hello, Raiders. Welcome on in. For those of you who may not know who I am, my name is Candy. I am a variety streamer. This week, we are having a pretty strong focus on visual novels. So we're currently playing Echoes, which was gifted to us by Nova Fox Games. Echoes is a hand-painted visual novel game where we are trying to solve the murder of our best friend while also trying to keep our sanity and not awaken any Eldritch horrors. So far, we're in the first chapter. We are just exploring, trying to get information, trying to suss out all the people here. But it's been pretty good. So stream's been pretty good. Can't complain. These cast of characters are quite a thing. They are quite a thing. So stream is good. But also, if you need to do any self-care things, if you need to get up, if you need to stretch, if you need to go to the bathroom, if you need to walk away, if murder mysteries are not your thing, if you're just tired of staring at a screen, that's okay. Please be sure to take care of yourself. Self-care is best care. Please be sure that you are taking care of yourself with whatever it is that you need to do. That is very, very, very important. But again, I appreciate the raid. I hope you'll stick around, but if you don't, that's okay too. That's okay. I won't be mad, I promise. I know murder mysteries are not for everybody. That's okay. Not everybody wants to watch, murder mysteries. Sometimes it's just more fun to play them. And if you're interested, there is a pinned post at the top of chat where you can learn more about Echoes, see the different endings, and you can learn about it on Steam. It's available on Steam and on the Nintendo Switch if you are interested in checking it out. And sometimes it's just fun to murder. Well, Grum, I don't think we're doing the murdering this time. Okay, so Oscar Morrison has a bell too, and Ernst Bull, his eyes seem to sparkle. So now we've given him some information. I knew it! Do you know who else has one in their possession? His tramp friend probably got one. Hi, GK. Welcome on in. GK, you need some rest. I needed to try more. Come on, Mr. Bull. That's public knowledge. Considering Arthur's relationship to Raymond, I don't need you to help me reach that conclusion. Liz Cole's got one. I see. One last thing. Do you know what the engraved numbers are for? Quid pro quo, Mr. Fox. One piece of information for another. But since I'm feeling generous, let me give you a clue. What do you think a series of random numbers could be used for? A secret code. Bingo. So Arthur had hidden the secret around his death with his patients. Had to get a hold of the other bells to find what the code is guarding. Child's play. Liz and Raymond had a bell. One of them vanished. I knew which of the patients I was going to question next. We do? We know which patient we're questioning next? Are we going back to Oscar? No. Liz? Let's see her bell. That, you know what? When we say let's see her bell, that sounds kind of dirty. I'm sorry that I said it that way. I heard Arthur gave you a bell. Could you show it to me, please? It's a gift. I can't show it to you. It's mine. I need to see that bell, Miss Cole. It's important to my investigation, you see. I don't want to take it away from you. Just to look at it. There are numbers engraved. It's a crucial clue. I'm sorry, Mr. Fox. It's my final memento of Arthur. I'm too scared they'll take that away, too. Her reaction seemed extremely irrational, but on the other, I was certain I wouldn't get anywhere by insisting. I needed to find a way to convince her, but it could wait. I'd just gotten a message from the sheriff. Raymond's medication had been delivered. I know, GK should sleep. GK just did a 48-hour stream. He needs to sleep. He needs to relax. He needs to sleep. Let's get Raymond's medication. Have you managed to get Raymond's medication? They just delivered it. Do you mind if I give it to him? Good. Now all I have to do is let him know. Child's play. I warned you. But still, Raymond's got ears everywhere. I'm sure someone in town will be delighted to tell him you've got them. No worries, GK. You go ahead and lurk. 84-hour stream? Damn, that's a lot, Grum. When do we get a Grum 24-hour stream? Grum 24-hour stream when? I know. This isn't the first time I've had to run around after him to give him his meds. Okay, so now let's... Who? Well, you're friends with him, so will you tell him? Hola, senor. Do you need some help? Pedro, I need to ask you a favor. Can you tell me where Raymond's hiding? No. Danger. I just need to give him his medicine. Pedro was torn between loyalty and the urgency of the situation. Raymond might not be a murderer, but without his prescription, he was in danger of becoming one. Okay. It's too late to go there today, but come back and see me tomorrow and I'll take you. His attitude has completely shifted. All of a sudden, he's got a pipe. He's got really good posture. His clothes look like they fit him better. He didn't seem to be shamming. Had he been one of Arthur's patients, too? Does he have multiple personalities? No hay problema, Senor Fox. Alright, so I guess we're going to the hotel. We're going back to the hotel. Sure, I was getting closer to the truth, that soon I'd be able to finally shine a light on why my friend was dead. Big mistake. I should have left while there was still time, but it was too late. I was already in too deep. The key to the investigation were those 5 bells and the numbers inside them. Alright, so the cat has one. Liz has one. We found the one that was on the floor. So there's 2 other ones. I still needed 3 more if I could believe what Morrison said. I knew Liz and Raymond had one. Who could possess the last one? That day I knew I'd start my day. I went to wait for Pedro at the diner. At her post, as always, Liz came to pour me some coffee. Good morning, Mr. Fox. Will you have the same as yesterday? Just a coffee. Thanks, Liz. Is everything okay, Liz? You're not looking too well today. I've mislaid my medication. I don't know how I'm gonna manage, Mr. Fox. I need it, you see? See what I can do, Liz. Thank you, Mr. Fox. You'd saved my day. Pedro arrived a few minutes later. I greeted him and he led me to the disused factory not far from the garage. This is where Raymond sleeps? Sí, casa de Raymond por aquí. Inside the factory, el fondo. Thanks, Pedro. I must to open the garage. Come see me later, si quiere. Senor Fox. Alright, so this is Raymond's hideout. It's, you know what? I mean, I guess it looks worse. He's got some windows. He's got some beverages. He's clearly got a place to sleep. It's makeshift, but, you know, it'll work. It'll work, I guess. Had Pedro warned him I was coming? Or had he cleared out when he heard me arrive? There's got to be some clues here. Can I find the bell, maybe? Okay, so he'd do a little bit of drinking. He'd do a little bit of drinking here. It's fine. He's got a light. He's got a notebook. with crazed remarks and insane surmises. The whole was an incomprehensible nonsense, every page of paranoid ramblings. The notebook began with a poem which left me trembling. Ding, ding goes the bell. Silence of the predator. 10 small, mad demons emerged through the flames of a blaze. The guardians hid in inhuman mask, then they delivered them to their destiny. I had no idea what it meant, but the mention of 10 demons seemed important. I skimmed the rest of the notebook bit by bit through the entries. Raymond seemed to be losing his grip on reality. He suspected everyone and everything. Was there any truth in it? It was hard to say. A bit further on, he explained his plans to sabotage the cars of people who had stabbed him in the back. Then one of the final pages was dedicated to Pedro. It was a brilliant... Whoa, wait. So he says Pedro is a brilliant researcher and a traitor? If he shows this mechanic, maybe he'd be more inclined to help. Okay. I mean, he's a mechanic. What's the worst that he could be doing? Another notebook. Another notebook. Oh, you could only hear Pedro, 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 Pedro. With the little raccoon. The little raccoon bopping. Raymond had accomplished the feat of filching documents from the Wow! He got stuff from the FBI team. This one was about Bull. A section of the text had been blacked out, but what I was able to read was that Bull had been a police informant. He'd relocated to Greenhearth as part of Witness Protection Program. His activity was suspect and he'd been put under surveillance. Even the hotel could be taken from him. Certainly deserved a little conversation with the party, especially since he was hiding things from me. Well, that's one way to try to get him to open up. I feel like there's something else I must be missing. Oh, radio. Press play. 2 muffled voices. 2 women. One that sounded like the sheriff. The quality of the recording was bad, so I could only pick out snatches of phrases. Something about 10. The Vita Cocha project was mentioned. Well, 10 demons. 10, okay. Sheriff was being reprimanded for what happened to Arthur. Oh. The other voice insisted that Gianna needed to knuckle under. As far as she was concerned, the matter was closed, and everything was now under control. She'd taken a risk by allowing me to... So maybe she's letting us investigate because she knows something's wrong. Interesting. Okay. This business of 10 with the codename was clearly not within the scope of the local police. A little chat at the precinct is called for. Okay. I feel like other times there's been like some text that lets me know that I'm done. Oh, kitty! What's Arthur's cat doing here? As if it had followed me. Measured each other up, then strolled across the room for a few plaintive yowls. So he's taking care of Arthur's cat. Okay. It was a bottle of pills. It was almost full, and it's for Liz. She hadn't misplaced it. He stole it. Stressed the fact that it was individually adapted for each patient. So why did he steal it? And that's why he didn't need his own prescription, because he already took one. I could take it and give it back to Liz. She'll show the bell. Take the meds. Or taking the meds. Because then he'll also have to come see us about his meds. Okay, so let's go to Liz. Another coffee, Mr. Fox? Found your medication. Really? Oh, thank you, Mr. Fox. You're my savior. Liz, fair's fair. Show me your bell and I'll give you medication. She hesitated for a moment before pulling a small bell. So she's carrying this bell around. And it's engraved with numbers. And then she put it back in her pocket. Are you satisfied? Give me my medication now. She swallowed 2 pills and stared. Thank you, Mr. Fox. All right, so we helped her out. Let's go talk to Pedro. Raymond thinks you betrayed him. He wasn't at the factory, but I found this notebook. Pero Raymond es mi amigo. That was written all over his face. Time to help him. Time to convince him to help me again. You see, Raymond needs his medication. Please, Pedro, help me. I'm sure you can convince him. De acuerdo. I'll convince him to meet with you, Senor Fox. Soy worried for Raymond. He's not well in his cabeza. When he's ready to talk to you, I'll let you know. Be ready. I'll do what's needed, Detective, but I'm counting on you to help him. Okay. I don't think we'll get anything from Oscar yet. Let's go talk to Ernest. Let's talk about the file. You know Raymond's got a file on you in his possession. That's got nothing to do with your case, Fox. Stop sticking your nose in everywhere. Come on now, Ernest. There's no point in getting all upset. I'm sure we can come to an understanding. You want the file, and I want to know what you know about Petrovsky's death. What do you say to a cordial exchange between gentlemen? All right, Fox, you win. I don't know who killed Petrovsky. I'm not even 100% sure it was a murder. What I do know is that Arthur was slowly going out of his mind. In a moment of sanity, he took a box at Green Hearth Bank, accessible with a 10-figure secret code. All right, so we know what the code opens now. We at least know what it opens now. Yada, thank you for the self-care. I will hydrate. And I will stretch. Thank you. Thank you. Something dangerous. Okay. Something that would explain his death? That's what I think. He split the code between 5 of his friends, engraved in the bells he gave them. Raymond, Oscar, Liz, and his cat. You know who got the last bell? Yes. Gianna Walter. She's got the 5th bell. Gianna? Why didn't she tell me? The final piece of the puzzle was under my nose right from the start. Now I had to get to the precinct for a little chat with the sheriff. I just got a message from Pedro. He'd agreed to talk to me. He'd meet at the abandoned factory. Fuck. Okay, wait. Let's get the numbers. Morning, Detective. Any news? It's time we discuss the bells. Arthur give you a bell shortly before his death? She's taken aback by the question. And the music cued in. Okay, we're on the right track. She pulled herself together fast, opened a drawer on the desk, and took out a small bell. You mean this, Fox? As a matter of fact, Arthur gave me this bell the day before he died. He seemed upset. I have to tell you, I put it in this drawer and haven't given it a thought since. What has this bell to do with the case? I motioned to her to give it to me. She did. Look, there are numbers engraved inside. You're gonna have to explain this to me, Fox. Petrovsky hid something in a safety deposit box at Green Hearth Bank. He engraved the access code and several bells, which he gave to his friends. Good work, Fox. I think I've misjudged you, and that we got off on the wrong foot. Come back and see me when you solve this mystery. I'll do what I can to help. Let's also tell her that Raymond has a recording of you. What are the 10, Gianna? What's the Viticocha project? You stumbled across... Whoa. Classified information about country security? Country? I can tell you there are some dangerous individuals in this town who were put here to be kept away from society. You know, it'd be nice if we knew that at the beginning. I've got a wife. I've got a kid. And I'm here with a bunch of people that should have been kept away from society. You've met some of them. Arthur's patients. Yes. My role in this town, apart from making sure people obey the law, is to keep these individuals safe. Your superiors ordered you to close the case. By allowing me to investigate, you're going against their orders. Why? Gianna looked away. Okay, you win. Yes, I've got some questions about Arthur's death too, but I received clear orders that I didn't dare disobey. When you suggested coming here to investigate, I told myself I'd let myself be persuaded. I need to know what really happened to him. Am I to assume that you and Arthur... Not another word, Fox. They had more than a professional relationship. They were banging. Okay. Decided to leave it there for now. Okay, so Liz, we got the number from Liz. Pedro said we will meet. So I think we have all the numbers. No, maybe we should see Pedro. Oh, and I guess... Oh, question Raymond. When I got to the factory, Raymond was there. Listen, they do, King, they do. He looked terrified. He spun around and vanished into the building. I shouted for him to wait, but he wasn't listening. Why was he afraid of me? I chased him into the maze of corridors. He knew the place well. Little by little, I was gaining on him. I finally caught up and forced him to face me. He said, "The foreman is alive. Help me stop him." Then I said, Whoa, what? What? Hold on. Wait, what? What? I know, and then I fired? Excuse? Raymond collapsed head first. No, that's not how it happened. I tried to catch up with him in a maze of corridors, but he knew the place better than I did. He was always one step ahead. I had almost caught up with him when I heard the gunshot. It was too late. I had failed. I looked for signs of the killer. I found nothing. It was as if they'd vanished. Wait. So we saw it from the perspective as if we killed him, but now we don't know if we actually killed him? I entered the room. Raymond lay face down on the ground, motionless. My cop's instinct was screaming at me to call for backup, not to contaminate the crime scene. But I wasn't here officially. I was just a civilian, and I needed to know. I moved closer. There was a bell clutched in his bloodied hand. Inside, 2 numbers were engraved. Well, I guess we've got the numbers, so it's time to go to the bank. I think we have all the numbers. Wow, so we just left the body there. We were just like, all right, peace. I went to the bank. I found the 5 bells and the 10 figures that would allow me to access the safety deposit box. The person at the counter didn't seem surprised to see me. I identified myself and asked to go to the boxes. They replied that my arrival had been expected and Dr. Petrovsky had left instructions. What? He knew we were coming. He knew this was happening. They took me through a maze of corridors to a room that were covered with small drawers. We'll worry about that later. I'm worrying about it now, Yada. I'm worrying about it now. After a few tries, I managed to enter the combination. The first figure was the order the numbers were entered, and the following ones were the access code for the box. I made a terrible mistake. I opened the box. It contained another bell. It was strange. I hadn't understood what it was. I took it in my hands and it didn't ring, but it was as if I'd heard thousands of voices, thousands of screams. Then the deafening flood faded, and suddenly a vision seemed to appear before me. Arthur! I need to make food, but I'm invested. Everything is getting darker. As I remember, the world around me slowly seems to take shape, to become more real. I know that the abysses of darkness will enshroud me and will become impenetrable before my tale is told, but I'm not ready to put those events on paper. Not yet. All in good time. Terrible sounds seem to come from the next room. I hear banging on the door. More insistent by the moment. I don't have much time left. Where was I? Raymond had just been killed. I clearly recall pulling the trigger, but I also recall witnessing the murder. Which of these memories is true? Was I losing my mind? Like Arthur? That's why I have to write it down. To remember. I managed to get into the safety deposit box, which contained a strange object. The bell had me hear a cacophony of sounds of voices. It showed me the image of a man who had brought me to join him in this nightmare. Arthur Petrovsky, my dear friend. Quickly the image faded, and I'd seen that instant of the past etched forever, twists and turns of soundless bell. All I could clearly make out with Arthur's glasses was lay there where they had fallen on the cabin floor. The cabin? I didn't know how I knew, but I'd silently received the knowledge of another place where Arthur had lived, a cabin in the woods near Greenhearth. Then I heard the voices. Arthur's first, then another, a strange, shifting voice, sometimes rasping and metallic, sometimes lilting, sometimes calm and determined. I tried to see this person's face, but everything was plunged in darkness. Fight! Don't let this monster take your life! Don't let it! You've been too curious, Doctor. You wanted to know what we were. Now you know. But you'll take that secret with you to your grave. Hey, no! Stop! Don't! Arthur uttered a ghastly cry of pain. I hear grisly noises, the splintering of bone and the ripping of flesh. No, what have I done? Arthur, I'm sorry. The voice had changed again. It was a voice I knew, but I couldn't put a face to it. The foreman is too strong. I can't stand against him. Go! Leave me! There was a sobbing and a door slammed. Then I was once again in the bank, beneath the cold strip lighting, with a strange bell in my hands. I thought the contents of the box would be the answer to all my questions. I was wrong. It held nothing but more questions, a secret that weighed on the town, a secret shared by Arthur Petrovsky's patients, a secret that I was about to drag into the light. And this is the start of episode 2. Should we continue on to episode 2? So the first episode took us about an hour and a half. Not even a full hour and a half. Not even a full hour and a half. What do you think, chat? Continue? Or do we save episode 2 to next week? I'll see what y'all think. I'll see what y'all think. I'm enjoying it. That twist of being able to see... Sorry, of being able to see the murder and then not be sure if the murder was us, but that happened. I like that. And clearly we're being able to see different perspectives, which I really like. I need more water though. I'm pretty sure this has 6 chapters. Let me check something. Because I'm pretty sure it was 6 chapters. I could have honestly made that up. No, maybe it's just 5. Maybe it's only 5 chapters. That way we don't pause in between chapters. That's what I was thinking. I mean, if I do a second chapter, I'm going to do a full second chapter. I'm not going to pause in between chapters. I wouldn't do that. I would just do a full second one. That, and I'd like to... I mean, Yada, you can pass out. You can go ahead and pass out, Yada. You do not have to worry. Let me see. 4, 5... Okay, so it is definitely, or from what I can tell, it's 5 chapters. It is 5 chapters. Yada, I know it is super late for you, so do not feel like you have to be here. That's what VODs are for. That's what VODs are for. I'm trying to see if I can find, I mean, probably won't be able to find anything, but no, I can't. You know what? We'll do chapter 2. And then that's where 1. We'll just do chapter 2. The secret. Now that we know how the gameplay is. Now that we know how the gameplay is and really what to do, I think we should be okay. I think we should be okay to do a second one. First thing I'd done after my discovery was pay a visit to the sheriff. I promised I'd keep her up to date, and something told me she'd be able to enlighten me about the cabin in the woods. Holy cow, Fox, did you see a ghost? You're as white as a sheet. I remember how hesitant I was to tell her the details of my experience. After all, what happened was pretty far-fetched, I'd replied. You don't know the half of it, but I'd rather keep that tale for some other time. All right, then. In that case, tell me, Fox, how may I be of service? That'll lead with the bells. Did it take you anywhere? Oh, did it take me anywhere? Let's talk about the murder. Raymond's dead. That was to be expected. What happened? I managed to convince him to meet me, but he ran away as soon as he saw me. When I caught up with him, he'd been shot. Bullet to the chest. Any leads for who did it? How else am I supposed to do my part of the deal if not on stream? What's your part of the deal, Yada? None. Thanks for letting me know, Fox. I'll do what's needed. I'll let you know when I get the investigation report. I hoped talking to the sheriff would relieve my sense of guilt. I should have known empathy wasn't one of her strengths. Raymond, we got off on the wrong foot, but I know now that he wasn't a bad guy. That moment, I promised I'd find his killer. Justice would be served. It had to be. Let's talk about the bank. I was able to get an Arthur's safety deposit box. end. Let's be vague, because clearly there's something going on. Also, I like how the art style has shifted in this chapter. This looks more like, almost like coal drawing to some extent. Like, I think it's the coal markers, pencils. I like it. The contents were odd. I didn't know what to think. Even the thought of talking about the bell made me uncomfortable. It was I who found it, but it was mine. Was I already condemned at that point? Was I already corrupted by the echoes of this bell? Charcoal pencils, thank you. Thank you, King. Probably. I'd rather not divulge that information until I know more. I understand, Fox. Tell me about it when you're ready. Only thing I'm sure is if that object is the linchpin of this investigation. I think it's the missing link between Petrovsky, his death, and his patients. If we're dealing with a murder, it could be the motive. I see. What do you plan to do now, Fox? Any ideas on how to proceed? I'm going to start by going back to question our persons of interest. Good idea. But I also need to know about this cabin. Not many people know about that, Fox. How the hell did you find out? I can't reveal my sources. I understand. Do as you wish, detective. After all, I don't really need to know. Yes, as a matter of fact, Arthur bought a cabin in the woods, privately, a few months ago. It was when he'd begun to sink into paranoia. He was sure he was being watched, and he needed a safe place where... Anyway, as far as I know, I was the only person who knew of its existence. Even though I strongly suspected they had an affair, I decided not to focus on that. I want to focus on that. I want to sip that tea. Let's talk about that affair. Let's talk about that. The subject seemed to make her uncomfortable. I see. It was a stone's throw away from the town's boundary by the forest trails. I'll show you how to get there on a hiking map. Alright, so now we know how to get there. We're not going to go to the cabin just yet. We're going to talk to everybody else first. Let's talk to Ernest. Ooh, okay, I like the way Ernest looks with this. Like the sort of rough drawings. I like it. He was waiting for me. Despite our earlier heated debates, the smile had returned. Oh, ad break. Get up, get your stretches, do your things. Get the stretches in. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. All right, ads are almost over. Our friend Ernest here is smiling at us. Let's hold on. Hi, Raven. Raven, just so you know, the sound alerts are paused on any... The sound alerts are going to be paused on any games that have been gifted to us by new lovely friends, such as this one, which was gifted to us by Novabox, because we don't want to interrupt their games. The music will just come up when we hit a nerve, which I've noticed. So it lets you know, I guess, that you're on the right track. So sound alerts and things like that will be off, but during like just chatting screens, be right back screens, things like that, they'll still be on for games like this. But how you doing? Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Dinner is complete. What was dinner, Clamps? What was dinner? All right, Ernest. You ended up helping me, even if you'd taken some convincing. You a friend or a foe? I don't know yet. My instinct urged me to trust a former informant, but on the other hand, he was clever. Too clever. I don't know his motives. Ah, Mr. Fox, how did your trip go? Of course you already knew, but I wasn't about to disclose the existence of the silent burger to him. Oh, wow, I read burger on there. Silent bell. I read burger on Clamps' message and spoke silent bell. I can speak. Information was Bull's currency, and the information was worth a lot. A whole damn lot. I needed to keep it in reserve for a time when I really needed his cooperation. Oh, it wasn't exactly thrilling, I'm afraid. Lending institutions seemed to be the same from one end of the country to the other. What a shame. I was hoping to see your triumphant return. Your investigation finally resolved. If you haven't got anything to tell me, what can I do for you, my dear guest? Tell me about your past. You were informant? Oh, you know, there's not much to tell, Mr. Fox. I did a favor for the police. In exchange, they put me here. Now I have a quiet life, a certain social standing. The authorities made sure I wanted for nothing. Yet you keep on behaving like an informant. Why? I can assure you that past is behind me. You could see me as retired if you wish. I'm just naturally curious. The leopard doesn't change its spots, as they say. I'm not convinced he's following someone's orders. But who? Like me, Fox, you realize there's something shady going on in this town. And like me, Fox, you need to know. We could team up. You and I have more in common than I thought. Oh, but we're already a team, Fox. Hadn't you realized? Do you really think you could have gotten into the bank without my help? He's not wrong. All right, in that case, let's continue our collaboration. I'm counting on it, Mr. Fox. I'm counting on it. All right, let's tell him Raymond was murdered. We're giving him the deets. I just found out. Sad news, but I can't say I'm surprised. How did you find out? Who let you know so quickly? Oh, or did he do it? Did he do it? You know, news travels fast around here. And a little troop from the sheriff's department putting up a police cordon around an abandoned factory. It's not exactly discreet. I see. All right, so... will Liz have anything she can share with us? I don't even know. Liz seemed agitated. Who could blame her? She just lost her doctor, one of the few people she trusted. Then I'd arrived and turned everything upside down with my investigation, my questions. I feel like I think I actually like the way she looks better here than the first episode, but I think it's because it's really portraying her, like, anxiety and nerves here. Like, it's not just, like, dejected. It's like, I can feel the anxiety from this. I hadn't realized how fragile the balance of Petrovsky's patient was. On the other hand, I'd come here to find answers, but the truth continued to evade me. Liz was the gentlest, most cooperative patient I'd met. I felt I had no choice but to keep questioning her. Mr. Fox? Coffee? Are you alright, Liz? You don't look so good. Oh, Mr. Fox, I just heard about Raymond. I'm sorry, it's so... poor Raymond. Don't be afraid. What happened to Raymond is regrettable, but I'll protect you. I don't know who was there to protect Raymond. He was one of us. But nobody listened to him. Nobody protected him. And now he's dead, like Arthur. I'm scared, Mr. Fox. My life here It's a lie. I'm sick. I know it. But I don't want to die, Mr. Fox. I don't want to die. We're silent for a moment. I didn't know what to say. Thank you for the streak, Raven. Everyone doesn't love Raymond anymore. You right, King? Because he's dead now. Or they love him even more because he's dead, you know. Then, after drying her tears, Liz seemed to pull herself together. I think the chance to unburden herself had been a relief. She tried so hard to lead a normal life. There's no point in feeling sorry for myself. Thanks for listening, Mr. Fox. Can I get you something? Let's talk about the secret of the patients. All Arthur's patients seem to share a secret. I need to know what you're hiding, Liz. It's the only way I'll understand what happened to my friend, do you see? Yes, I see. I don't know, Mr. Fox. When they put us here, they made us forget. But I think some of us have begun to remember. Like Raymond? Yes, Raymond was the first. But I don't want to remember, Mr. Fox. It's too horrible what happened to us. Are you sure you don't remember, Liz? Please, No! Stop! I don't want to! I can't remember. I'm warning you. It was the first time I'd see Liz fly off the handle. A moment later, she'd gotten a grip on herself and calmed down. I'm sorry, Mr. Fox. I got carried away. You know, it's hard for me, but be kind to me, please. I'm sorry, Liz. I don't want to upset you. Liz was obviously unstable. I had nothing to gain from upsetting one of my only allies. Alright, so we're not going to make her mad. Let's see. Can we talk to Oscar while we're here? Oscar is back at the diner. It's as if he was waiting for me. If our last conversation had been heated, he didn't show it. The artist seemed very mellow, almost jaunty. Mr. Fox, what a pleasure to see you, my friend. I believe I heard you've been having a most productive day. Is your little investigation proceeding as you had wished? His attitude and his air of satisfaction were extremely irritating. Had he manipulated me? Oscar, why do you make our conversation so difficult? I'm sure we want the same thing. Don't you think it'd be easier for us to work together? We don't want the same thing, Mr. Fox. You want the truth, don't you? I already have it. As for what I want, that's not your affair. But I'd still like to thank you. Thank me? Yes, thank you. Thanks to you, there's no more Raymond. The old rogue was asking some rather too pertinent questions. Thanks to you, the contents of the security box are safe. So what you want is that... Oscar gestured me quietly, hastily. Didn't understand why at that moment he looked so wretched that I instantly obeyed. Say no more, I beg you. We're being watched. No, I don't want the contents of the box. Absolutely not. Ideally, you would leave town now. But I suppose that's out of the question, not why you lack the answers you seek. Answers I am unable to give to you. Because you're being watched? Exactly, Mr. Fox. Exactly. However, even though I greatly appreciate your agreeable company, my time is precious, and I have much to do. If you'll excuse me. Wait, where can I find you if I need to talk to you? I am not as your beck and call, Mr. Fox. As I told you, I have much to do. I hope for your sake we don't have the occasion to meet again. But something tells me that we will be called upon to meet once again. Until then, Godspeed. Oscar almost bounced out of the diner. I let him leave. I had nothing solid to hold him for. I didn't know what to think. On one hand, he seemed sincere, but on the other, I'd encountered such grandiloquent sincerity before. Alright, so let's go talk to Pedro. Pedro. Hi, British. How you doing? Pedro was waiting for me, immobile, his pipe in his mouth. It was a conversation I was dreading. He trusted me. He'd convinced Raymond to meet me. And in the end, all I'd done was serve Raymond up to his murder. Detective? Pedro, I know. You're sorry. I did what you wanted, and now one of us is dead. One of us? What? Didn't you realize? I'm one of Petrovsky's patients, too. No matter, I'm afraid we've got nothing more to say to each other. I know your intentions are honorable. It's not your fault somebody had a grudge against my friend. But I need time to grieve, if you'll excuse me. And immediately the other Pedro took his place. Hola, Senor Fox! It was as though the mechanic was juggling two distinct personalities. There had to be a psychiatric explanation for his behavior, but it was beyond my knowledge of the subject. What you playing, British? What you playing? Anyway, it was much easier to communicate with the pipe smoker, but something told me it would be some time before he resurfaced. Soy muy triste, muy triste. That just says, I'm sad. I'm very sad. I'm very sad, very sad. In case you need the translation, friends. In case you need the translation. I think that's everybody, so I think we gotta go to the cabin. Good 15 minutes walk along the forest path. I reached the cabin. On the stoop by the door, his glasses lay where they'd fallen. They seemed to confirm the vision. Great, so that was an actual vision of the past that we saw. Inside, however, unlike his official apartment, everything was tidy, as if he just left. It was a clear contrast to the cold, functional character of his residence. A safe rested against the walls and had been empty. Completely empty. I could only hope to find some new, useful clues. Okay. Okay, so first of all, there's this strange symbol carved into the wood. Who could have done this? Why would he keep this in the cabin? I recalled Oscar in his drawings. He'd given one to the doctor. Perhaps it was a gift from one of his patients? I'd asked around town. Maybe someone could put me on the right track. I see the cat. I'm a little suspicious of the cat because I'm pretty sure that this is Petrovsky's cat that's just hanging here, that just keeps showing up in places that we are. Unless somehow he managed to end up in the body of the cat, which would be wild. Although I guess, crazier things have happened. So there's the open safe. This looks like another room. This has color when everything else is black and white. So I'm a little concerned about that. A cigarette butt, but Arthur's not a smoker. Maybe the person who carved the strange symbol was. Well, we know that Pedro smokes. Okay, maybe now we have to... I'm going to click on the cat. I'm going to, but... Just trying to see if there's anything else before I click on the cat that obviously keeps going from place to place. Kitty? Arthur's cat awaited me on the desk. How had it gotten in? Had it followed me here? I uttered its plaintive yells, then it strolled across the floor to firmly... Oh, it rubbing itself against the wall. Did it want to show me something? I studied a section of the wall. Something wasn't right. I should clarify that this is a game I've never played. You should play it, Raven. You should play it. Do it. Do it. It's newly released on Steam and Switch. It's murder mystery. Different art styles in each chapter. So the first chapter was definitely drawn and stuff like that, but this one feels much more like charcoal pencils, which is really cool. There's a surveillance system. It's another sign of Arthur's paranoia. The further I got into the investigation, the more I understood his reasons for taking the precautions. The cat is also sus about the colors on the wall, considering everything else is black and white. Same. Unlike the safe, nobody had forced the door to this room. I began to view the recordings, which unfortunately only covered the last 48 hours. First, a brawny guy with a military bearing... Oh, so that's who forced the safe open. Rapid, precise. His visit lasted just a few minutes. Camera angle didn't allow me to see what he'd come here to find. A bit later, it was a woman entering the cabin. She kept her back to the camera, which wasn't going to be simple identifying her. But I could tell she was slender, fairly small, brown skin. Beneath her hat was brown and mid-length. The way she moved suggested a young woman around 30. Probably younger. Okay. When she discovered the wide-open safe, she panicked, clearly anxious at the thought that someone had been there before her. Neither of them was a smoker, which meant the person with the cigarette butt had come more than 2 days earlier. These videos raised important questions. 1, who'd been in the safe? 2, how did they know of the existence of this cabin, considering that the detective Walters thought that only she knew about the cabin? Okay. So let's go to Gianna Walter and see if she knows about these people. Talk about the symbol in the cabin. I found the symbol carved into the piece of wood's cabin. What could it be? Sorry, Fox, I don't know, but I didn't notice it last time I was there. Okay, do you know anything about the surveillance system? No, I didn't know. How did you find it? It was hidden in a little room with a secret door. Anything interesting? 2 people got inside in the last 48 hours. Okay, so now maybe she'll be able to identify these people. Tall, heavily built, he looked like military. He managed to force the safe in a few minutes. Terry Graham. Okay, new patient. Terry Graham, one of Petrovsky's patients. Where can I find him? I think it'd be wiser to let him come to you. You saw the size of him. I'd avoid upsetting him if I was you. As you notice, he's ex-military. He's trained and potentially dangerous. Do you know what was in the safe? According to Arthur, patient files. But after everything I've learned these last few days, I wouldn't be surprised if it was really something else entirely. And the other person? Young woman, brown, shoulder-length hair, slim, small, darker complexion, wearing a brown hat. Sorry, but I'll need more than that to give you a name. Okay, so we know at least who one person is. So I don't think we're going to get much from Pedro, unless, does Pedro have a sibling? Senor Fox? Looking for a young woman, pretty with a hat. Does that mean anything? Sí, la señorita bonita. La conozco. So the pretty woman, I know who she is. Do you know her name? Muy bonita. Always kind with me. Pedro appeared to be really shaken by Raymond's death. It seemed pointless to press him, at least for that moment. Damn, Stream Elements was quick. Stream Elements was quick on that. All right. Pedro appeared to be really shaken, pointless to press him. He seemed to know the young woman. Maybe he'd be more receptive when he had more time to grieve for his friend. Okay. Let's talk about the symbol. Do you know what this is? Sí, Senor Magnus. Magnus? Is that the name of the person who carved this piece of wood? Sí, old man with beard. He had problem with brakes for the car. Hang on. Magnus is the third person? Sí, sabotage. Do you know where I can find him? No sé. Sorry, Senor Fox. Thanks, Pedro. All right, so now we're getting it on this Magnus, but we don't know where to find him. Could he also be the foreman? Let's see if Liz has anything. I feel like Ernest is going to end up knowing something, but let's see if Liz has anything. Mr. Fox? You've got more questions, right? Looking for a young woman. Slim, brown, shoulder-length hair, dark complexion. No, sorry. Lots of people come through here. I know who that can be. In any case, she's not a regular at the diner. Can I get you another coffee? Do you know anything about the symbol? Yes, that's Mr. Lingdren. He's always carving bits of wood like that. You know where I can find him? He comes by the diner pretty often, but he's already been in today. You missed him. When he comes back, could you introduce me? Of course, Mr. Fox. One last thing. Yes? Do you know Mr. Lingdren's last name? I think his name's Magnus, but I always call him Mr. Lingdren. I'm not certain. Now we've got a new name, Magnus Lingdren. I made a note to come back and see Liz so she could introduce me. I've got a few questions for him. I just received a message from the sheriff. Raymond's body has been taken to the morgue. She made me an appointment to witness the autopsy. Great. Just what I want to see. I want to see an autopsy. Didn't leave me much time to ask a few more questions. But I want to talk to Ernst. What you got? Looking for a tall military man. Okay. When Terry Graham wants to talk to you, he'll find you. Don't waste your time. You won't find him. Okay. And the young woman? You're going to have to be more precise here, Mr. Fox. You've just described a good portion of the female population of our town. Great. Okay, so we're not going to get any information on the woman for a while. And he doesn't know anything about the carving. Okay. Saying that, a strange symbol carved with no apparent reason of wood and left, I would imagine in an odd place. You've been in Greenhearth long enough to know what that means, don't you? One of Petrovsky's patients. Alright, so he actually didn't know much either. So to the morgue. Okay, maybe not to the morgue. The morgue is on fire, and so is Raymond's body. All it has taken was a spark. It was so simple. The sheriff, Fox, they'd stop at no- Oh, we're seeing somebody else's perspective. The sheriff, Fox, they'd stop at nothing to find the truth. The puzzle was coming together piece by piece. The others, they were about to wake up. It was inevitable now. Raymond's death would hasten everything. It was regrettable. It's given me absolutely no pleasure. But at least this way, it was I who chose the tempo. If everything continued to unfold as expected, I had a good chance of getting out of this fiasco alive. No! Those aren't my memories! That's not how it happened! I have to concentrate. The others, they're waiting, skulking in the twists and turns of my mind. I have to get a grip. I have to remember. The smell of burning got stronger and stronger as I got close. Then I saw the flames. Raymond's body and the rest of the building were being reduced to cinders. Gianna had seen me arriving. She came to meet me. There was nothing I could do. She'd already called the fire department. We'd just have to bite the bullet, wait until the flames had been extinguished, and hope. I went back to the hotel for a sleepless night. The next day I began with a visit to the police station. I needed to know how it happened. How had the fire started? The sheriff was expecting me. At her post as always, her expression, as inscrutable as ever, gave me no clues to what to expect. But something told me it wasn't good news. Fox, come in. Good morning, Sheriff. I suppose you're here for news about the morgue. The fire service managed to get the fire under control, but there's extensive damage. Raymond's body was completely incinerated. The building's still standing, but we've lost all the archives. I'll go check it out later. There might be clues. Perfect, that's what I was about to ask you. But you should go back to the crime scene, too. I have to confess, this arson completely blindsided me. I believe there's somebody who will stop at nothing to cover their tracks and protect themselves. Maybe we missed a clue. It's worth checking. Anything else, Fox? I'm going to meet another of Arthur's patients today. Magnus Lindgren. Sound familiar? I can tell you he's got on the list that I've got for distribution of medications, but he's usually fairly reserved. You'll tell me what this is all about after you've spoken to him? I'll do that. And if you need anything, you know where to find me. Yeah, because this cop is always just in the police station. She's never actually out doing anything. I began the day with 3 new leads. Where should I start? Let's search Raymond's hideout. Let's go there first. I was used to crime scenes, but it wasn't every day I'd return to a murder scene where I'd been the witness. I'd hoped to find something here which put me on the murderer's trail. I never thought my visit to a disused factory would thrust my investigation into an all-new direction. Okay, so the windows up here are broken. Broken windows. What's this? A tobacco pouch? The smell that escaped it was unmistakably a pipe tobacco. Why had Pedro come here? He'd been affected by Raymond's death, but he told me nothing worthwhile. I'll have to talk to the mechanic. Can I go inside? Oh. What's this? Another cigarette butt. Okay, someone's definitely covering their tracks. It was fresh. Very fresh. I hadn't encountered many smokers except Pedro and his pipe. No new clues. However, at least 2 people had been here. The mechanic and the mysterious smoker. And I need to find out why. Let's go to the morgue. Gianna hadn't been kidding. Interior of the morgue had been completely gutted by flames. It's gonna be slim pickings. It's clearly the work of a murderer, but I didn't understand what proof they'd been trying to erase. Had there been something on Raymond's body that would have given away the identity? That didn't seem likely. Let's see. The drawers. Here we go. One file had partially escaped the flames. Unfortunately, it wasn't the autopsy report, but the list of requests to see Raymond's body. Some of the patients wanted to see him. They simply wished to say goodbye, or did they have other reasons? Hard to say, but there was another thing that aroused my curiosity. The recipient. It was addressed to a Tilkix, an alias for sure. I knew the Bureau was investigating the case, but did that mean Central Intelligence Agency was watching the town too? I jotted down the name. Maybe it would mean something to someone. There's a handprint. Fingerprints, clean and visible, which would make identifying their owner's child's play for the police. Found it hard to imagine it could belong to the pyromaniac. But on the other hand, anyone could get lucky. The sheriff's team would certainly lift the Murdy. I made a note to ask on my next visit. There wasn't much to be gotten here. Still a few new elements. I'd hope they bring me closer to the truth. Well, let's go talk to Gianna and tell her what we found. Okay, what's in the file? Nothing interesting, just a list of visits. They were all refused. Okay, they were all refused. And these are all patients that were looking. Okay. I wonder if one of them, the murderer, could have wanted to get rid of incriminating evidence. Look, Fox, I read the admission report and the preliminary autopsy report. There was nothing on Raymond which might have been conclusive for the investigation. Don't worry about that. Are you absolutely certain? No, you're right, Fox. I can't be certain. In any case, this lead looks like it's going nowhere. We haven't got a way of checking your hypothesis. Anything else? I know the name, but I've never met the person behind the alias Tiltix. All I can tell you is that it's someone high up in the investigation, in the intelligence service. and that this person has a keen interest in what happens in my town. They're CC'd for all outgoing files. Okay, let's talk about these fingerprints. Can you get an ID on the prints? Can you get an ID on the prints? Did you get a match? Yes, but the match might surprise you. I'm all ears. They belong to an Italian scientist reported missing in the 1930s. One Ettore Marjorana. That's unusual. I didn't know the central database went back that far. Me neither, to be honest. I guess you've got it down as a false positive? Normally, yes. But after everything we've seen in this investigation, I've got to say I don't know who or what to trust anymore. If these prints turn out to be right, it's mind-blowing. We'd better ignore this lead for the time being. Alright, so that lead is getting us nowhere. We need to talk to Pedro to find out why he went there. Hola, Senor Fox. I am happy to see you. Always a pleasure to great detective Ricky Fox El Magnifico. That's right, his English is broken. I'd like to meet Dr. Petrovsky's patient. You said you knew her? No se puede. No lo conozco. You insisted on talking to Raymond, and now Raymond está muerto. But El Senor Fox is a great detective. He can solve the case without my friends die, no? Thank you for the follow. I am pequeño investigador, but I help Senor Fox in his investigation. Wow. Thanks, King. Don't try to investigate Pedro. You'll put yourself in danger. Sí, entiendo. No peligro para mí. So Pedro held me responsible for Raymond's death. It wasn't me who pulled the trigger, but still, he wasn't completely wrong. And now he'd gotten into his head to investigate for himself. I had to find a way to talk to the other Pedro, the one who could help me. The one who could tell me the identity of the young woman I'd seen on the video. Pedro, I need to talk to the other Pedro. ¿Qué? This is going to be tricky. The pipe smoker? I'd like to talk to him, please. Soy muy triste for Raymond. I sleep because I said. There was no point insisting. Maybe if I showed him how urgent the situation was, I'd make him resurface. I had no guarantee it would work, but I couldn't see any other solution. Now I just had to find some clues to show him and exercise a bit of patience. Pedro, I found your tobacco pouch at the factory. Ah, gracias, Senor Fox. I was looking for it everywhere. You really are a good detective. Tell me, Pedro, what were you doing there? No sé. Es para mi amigo Raymond. Again, it was pointless. I could only hope the cigarette butt found at the factory would produce better results. Alright, so Pedro is a bust. Let's go talk to Magnus. Liz was waiting for me. She seemed worried and tired. Oh, Mr. Fox! Mr. Lingdren is here. I told him that you wanted to talk to him. He's waiting for you. How are you, Liz? No, I'm not too good, Mr. Fox. Everything that's going on in town at the moment, it's very disturbing. I remember things, horrible things, fragments, snatches of things I'd rather forget forever. And Mr. Morrison won't stop asking me questions. He wants us to go somewhere, to remember, but I don't want to remember. Go somewhere? Where? Liz was suddenly enraged. Stop it! Stop with all your questions! I don't want to think about it. Don't make me remember. It's too horrible what happened to us. I hadn't expected such fury from this young woman. She seemed to make an immense effort to get a hold of herself. Then again, she was herself again. You'll have to excuse me, but I'm going to let you introduce yourself to Mr. Lingdren. I'm going home. Try to rest. I don't feel very well. I'm sorry. She disappeared into the kitchen. She is out of there. You're not my supervisor. Magnus Lingdren was a gray-haired old man. He was smoking a cigarette in the back of the diner. His keen gaze rested on me, and I was struck by the calm strength that emanated from him. Ricky Fox, pleased to meet you. Magnus Lingdren. I'd like to say it was a pleasure to meet you, Detective, but I'm afraid this interview is rather more of a necessity than a pleasure. You could have come see me sooner. For what? To save you time? I'd remind you, Mr. Fox, who came here, disturbing our community's delicate balance, a balance that was already undermined by Petrovsky. And if you're going to suggest that Raymond would still be alive if I acted differently, I'll stop you right away. Raymond was condemned long time ago, I'm afraid. What makes you say that? Raymond was the first to remember, with the help of your friend, Dr. Petrovsky. His reaction was to blame the whole world, and do it loudly and disruptively. If one of us hadn't taken things into their own hands to silence him, the authorities would have taken care of it sooner or later. One of us? You think the patients are responsible for Raymond's murder? If the authorities had taken care of it, he would have disappeared without a trace. Considering the way the murder happened, I deduce that yes, I believe it was the work of Petrovsky's patients, one of the 10. Can you be more precise? No, really could have been any one of us. All I'm sure is that it wasn't I who did the deed. But allow me to explain things from the beginning. Things will be clearer. This town, Greenhearth, was for a long time a dormitory town for special research center, referred to by code name Vitakocha. I never really knew who was in charge of all that. I suppose it was more or less independent unit of the Central Intelligence Agency. A few years ago, something happened, and the research center was shut down. The victims of the incident were rehoused in town, under the authorities' control. Petrovsky's patients? Yeah, the Greenhearth 10. So that's what Raymond's poem had been talking about, the 10 little devils. We've been kept sedated for all these years. We needed special medication since the incident, with side effects on our memory. At least that's what the doctor told us at the time. Didn't you wonder if the memory loss was intentional? Perhaps. What I can tell you is that we all wanted to forget. The incident, none of us wanted to remember. I have nothing but fragments, images of what happened, but I can't. I don't want to talk about it. It was horrific enough to make anybody lose their mind. Raymond? Yeah. Your friend, Petrovsky, was ditched here after the previous doctor died. He quickly realized something was wrong in this town, and he wanted to dig around, particularly with Raymond. Do you know who killed him? No, but I wouldn't exclude the suicide theory so quickly if I was you. As you said, this town is poisonous. You can't get too close and expect to come away unscathed. I would advise you to pack your bags and leave without a second look, but I suppose that's out of the question, of course. Anyway, there you are. Arthur, Raymond, now you. It provoked a chain reaction, and now all of us are beginning to get our memories back, making this town a powder keg, ready to blow. If you have any other questions, go ahead. I'll do my best to answer. Who are these 10? You've already met most of them. I'm one of them, of course, as are Raymond, Oscar, Liz, Pedro. You know Pedro was a brilliant scientist before the incident. One of the brains behind the project. Look at what he's become. Terry Graham, he was in charge of security. Ines Belkadir, Adeline Lefebvre. Could one of them have been the one who searched Arthur's cabin? Stephen Lloyd. I don't think you'll be able to meet with him. Why not? He disappeared shortly after the incident. Don't you know what happened to him? No. Before he disappeared, he found religion. He was fervent, almost like a fanatic. He became a sort of preacher, a zealot, like a cultist? On one day, he up and left town. Haven't been seen since. That's that. If my calculations are correct, there's one missing, I think. Yes, you're right. Abel Smith. He disappeared a long time ago, too. What can you tell me about this Abel Smith? Not much, I'm afraid. Abel was always a loner, rather eccentric. As I told you, he disappeared a long time ago. He seemed willing to help me, so I decided not to press him for the time being. Do you know why Raymond tried to sabotage your car? Magnus lit another cigarette with a sigh. Poor Raymond. You met him, didn't you? Before he died? By the end, he'd become completely paranoid. He was convinced that everybody was after him, including Dr. Petrovsky, who moved heaven and earth to help him. As for me, I was worried about him. I went to see him, try to help him, reason with him after he cut ties. He didn't want to know. He threw me out of the factory, literally. Next day, I had an accident in my old sedan. As they say, no good deed ever goes unpunished. There's not much to add, but I do understand what you're getting at with your questions. You're looking for a motive for the murder, aren't you? I don't hold it against him, I assure you. I knew he wasn't well. By the end, his mental health had really gone downhill. I knew Raymond a long time. He hadn't been easy. It grieves me that I couldn't help him. I see. Thank you, Magnus. In some circumstances, a quarrel that had gotten out of hand could certainly constitute a motive, but I was finding it hard to believe that theory. Magnus didn't really seem the hot-tempered type. Does Tilkits mean anything to you? The fear in his eyes is unmistakable. That's a name I'd hope I never hear again. Tilkits, yes. He was the head of the Vitacocha project. That man has no soul. That incident, it all happened because of him. Him and his right-hand man, the foreman. The foreman? The foreman? That name, it rang a bell. Where had I heard it? Yes, the controller, or the overseer, if you prefer. We named him after his job because nobody knew his name. He was Tilkic's deputy. He was everywhere and nowhere. No one really knew who he was. He was a master of camouflage and concealment. All I can tell you is nobody messed with him. What happened to him after the incident? I don't know. Nobody knows. I just hope what we all hope, that he didn't survive. It's possible. That could be the reason for Raymond's death. And Petrovsky's? Possibly Fox. Possibly. That's all I can tell you in any case. Do you know the young woman who broke into Arthur's home? Yes, that's one of Petrovsky's patients, Inez. She matches your description. What can you tell me about her? She's usually pretty quiet. She's one of the few patients who managed to rebuild their life after the incident. But since Raymond's death, let's say she has more to lose than most of her other patients. For Pedro, Raymond, and myself, to be perfectly honest, our lives stopped after the incident. I don't know where you can find her, but you should be prepared to meet with some difficulties. I don't think she'll want to talk to you. Was Magnus trying to protect her by refusing to tell me more? It was hard to say. And cigarette butt. Found a butt from one of your cigarettes at the disused factory where Raymond lived. What are you doing there? I followed Pedro. Pedro? I'm worried about him. Since Raymond's death, he seems more lost than usual. What was Pedro doing there? He's got it into his head to investigate for himself. I think Inez talked him into it. In any case, she was with him when they went to the factory. Do you know what they were doing there? No idea. They were looking for something, but they didn't seem to find it. So I can tell you I'm sorry. Now I knew Pedro had gone to the factory with Inez. Perhaps I could find other clues that would help me see reason. Alright, so let's go back to Pedro and see. Allah, Senor Fox? No, okay, he won't tell us. I was wondering if maybe we could say we know you were with Inez, but I guess not. Why is Oscar... I went to the diner, but Oscar wasn't there. Okay. So Liz left. Oscar's not there. We spoke to Magnus, spoke to Pedro. I don't know if Ernest is going to have anything, so let's just search the factory. Now that I knew that Pedro was protecting Inez, I was ready to search the premises with a new perspective. Okay. So windows are shattered. Oh. Someone was watching me from the window. With the sun in my eyes, it was impossible to make out their face. I went around the building trying to reach whoever it was, but it was too late. They were gone. So they left. Okay. So there's got to be something else that we can find. Let's see. So they were at the window, but not anymore. Hi, Sparkle. How you doing? Welcome on in. What else could I be missing here? This is where the cigarette butts... Oh, that would help. Footprints made by high-heeled shoes. I was almost certain I hadn't seen them here earlier that day. These could be left by Inez. I don't know what she came to look for, but it was important enough that she check back. Was she the person I caught spying on me through the window? It's likely, but there's no other clues. Nothing to do but go back and speak to Pedro. Pedro, 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 Pedro. I'm good. I'm good. We are trying to solve a murder mystery. We are on our way. We are on our way, and I'm doing a lot of reading and a lot of attempting to do voices. And let's just say I'm not great at voices, but I'm trying. So it's all good. It's all good. Let's see. I went back to the disused factory. You did go back to the factory. You did. Hee hee hee. ¿Por qué? Raymond not there now. Your friend Inez, she went back with you. She's doing her own investigation. I think she's in danger. No la conozco. Pedro, if you care about her and if you don't want her to end up like Raymond, you have to talk to me. There was a moment of hesitation, then he took out the pipe. Inez, I did what I could to protect her, but if she won't stop, yeah, I'm afraid she'll end up like Raymond. We're doing all right. We're doing all right, Sparkle. You know, it's a good time. It's a good time. It's a good time as long as we don't go totally crazy, although I think we're going to lose our sanity by the end of this, by the end of the story. You know what she's looking for at the factory? A notebook. The diary of Abel Smith. Raymond had it. What's in this diary? Enough information about what's been going on at Green Earth to create a fine national scandal. But how? After Raymond's death, she took matters in her own hands. She thinks the diary will keep her safe. She's ready to call in the press if the situation escalates. So where is this diary? Oh, you telling me that Magnus has the freaking thing? When I asked about the 10, he'd failed to mention this Abel Smith. Could he have lied to me? Could he have gone to the factory before Pedro and Inez to find that notebook? I'd have to go back and ask him. What are you going to do, Fox? I'm going to get that diary. I've got some idea of where it is. Very well, Detective. I can see you want to keep it to yourself, but be careful. That notebook may be one of the reasons Raymond is dead. Do you think someone would kill to get a hold of it? I don't know, Fox. Perhaps. Alright, so Pedro thinks it's motive enough. Maybe he was watching the crime scene. A crime that he had committed. Needs to be extra careful. There's already one death since the start of my investigation. I don't need another one. For my part, I'll try and convince Inez to meet with you. My moments of lucidity are too short, but perhaps you can sway her to listen to reason. Can you tell me more? It's since the incident, but it would take too long to explain. You'll just have to accept that we can only talk for a few minutes at a time. For now, at least. That's why I'm counting on you for Inez. I'll tell you more when I'm able. I'll come back and see when you've got a hold of that notebook. And we're back to Magnus. Detective. You've got the notebook, don't you? What? How? Never mind. Yes, I put Abel Smith's notebook somewhere safe. I'd like to take a look at it. No, out of the question. It's too dangerous. This notebook, how'd you get a hold of it? I knew that Raymond had it. And you knew where it was hidden? I guessed it would be at the factory. Had Inez gone to the cabin to search for it? Dun dun dun! So it was a diary you broke into Arthur's cabin in the woods? How did you know? Never mind, you are a detective after all. Yes, I thought it would be there, but it wasn't. When I realized Inez was looking for it, I beat her to it. If that information became public, the authorities, it would be a death warrant for all of us. If that diary's so dangerous, why didn't you destroy it? I didn't even think of that. And it's our story, our memoir. I couldn't resolve myself to get rid of it. I need that diary, one way or another. I told you, Fox. It's out of the question. It's too dangerous. Leave me alone now. And he left. Great. So now we have to find another way to get that. You have to find the clues. It's time to ask my ally for a favor. Hey, Detective Walter. Can we go to Magnus's apartment? Can I ask why? Seems that Magnus has in his possession a notebook that belongs to one of the patients. According to my source, it contains vital information for the investigation. Could you tell me who your source is, please? Alright, fine. We'll give you this much. Pedro. The mechanic? Yes, really. Pardon my surprise, but how should I put this? I know what you're getting at, but I promise Pedro's a lot less backwards than he might seem at first. He's an honest man, which is rare, and I swear he has moments of astonishing clarity. You're right, Fox. I shouldn't judge. At any rate, I'm sure Lindgren is implicated in Petrovsky's death one way or another, perhaps even in Raymond's murder. You're hoping to find clues in his apartment? Exactly. Sorry, Fox. I'd like to help you, but with Raymond's death, the feds are going to be here any moment. In the interest of the investigation, I need to be beyond reproach. If my involvement gets out, I'll be stripped of duties. As for you, I'd once again suggest that you practice utmost discretion and prudence. So do I have your blessing? Don't ask me to repeat it in course, but yes, you've got my blessing. All right. We can go break into somebody's house. There's movement among Petrovsky's patients. I get the feeling the recent events are pushing things forward. Movement? Like what? Let's say there's a certain restlessness in town. Something's going to happen. Mr. Morrison has been seen in the company of several of Petrovsky's patients. Do you know what he's up to? Not exactly, unfortunately, but I hope you'll be able to tip me off. I suggest you keep your eyes and ears open, detective, as you know so well how to do. I intend to. And thank you. Still, do take care. I get the feeling the medication Petrovsky was giving them is having less and less effect. It makes sense, and that's why they're all acting so strange. They're going to get more and more unstable. This game art looks very cool. I'm just looking. Hey, Dan, each chapter has different art styles, and they're all, like, hand done. I just realized that there's, like, a little bit of reddish on Ernest, which makes me nervous. Like, what is the reddish that's, like, by his pen? Because everything else is black and white. Yeah, so each chapter has different art styles, which is really, really cool. I know you're mostly lurking, but if you click on the Steam page, or the Nintendo Switch page, if you click on that, you'll be able to see, like, just examples of the different art styles from each chapter. They've started mostly in black and white, but I believe the final one is, like, in full color, or at least one of them is in full color. I'm counting on you. Can I ask you for anything else? Does Tilkix mean anything to you? Of course it means something to me. Where'd you hear that code name? Not your concern, Bull. Come on, detective. Don't be so defensive. It's not like that information would come from many places. Let me guess. The sheriff's office? No. You wouldn't go checking around. You agree with King? I know, the morgue. You went checking for clues for the pyromaniac's identity, and you stumbled across a file that had escaped the flames, is that it? Bull was too astute for his own good. So do you know who it is? Nobody knows who it is, Mr. Fox. Tiltix is a straw man, a faceless alias who appears over and over in classified documents. All I can tell you is that, except in the highest spheres of intelligence service, nobody really knows who he is. And what's he got to do with Greenhearth? I don't know exactly how much he's involved in what's happening here, but I can tell you he's taking a close interest. Having said that, I'm confident with these recent developments, we'll finally learn more about his identity. I hate that Bull knows so much and is, like, not fully helpful to us. I like that you've spelled it Dulb, by the way, instead of blood. It's backwards. It's the mirror version. Dulb. I need to get into Magnus's apartment. Magnus Lindgren? Well now, of course I can get you in, but only if you'll allow me this question. What are you looking for? Oh, how honest should we be with this guy? I don't want to be that honest with him. I suspect him of Raymond's murder. Really? I'm surprised. Mr. Lindgren has always been a law-abiding citizen. Until now, at least. On the other hand, these recent events have certainly disturbed his patience. Who knows what they're capable of in reality? I don't know what to think, Bull. Lacking any evidence, I hope I can cross him off the list. So what do we... He's coming with us? Let's go, Bull. After you. Excellent. Great. Is he able to pick locks? Magnus Linger's apartment was located in a nice town center building. Ernest and I got into the building and... The telephone had rung. It was Jody. It's my wife who I just left behind. Terry Graham. He came out of the shadows and he was angry. That evening, he jumped me without warning. He thought I had the bell. Jody asked if I'd be back soon. Stop! I have to focus! I mustn't let myself be taken over by these parasitic memories! Ernest and I got into the building. We went up to the 3rd floor. Then Bull got his lockpicks out. Less than a minute later, we were inside Magnus's apartment. Magnus's interior design choices in his home contrasted strangely with the old man's gruff exterior. Why had he chosen to live in this modern, almost sterile interior? Bull kept watch in front of the apartment. All I had to do was get to work. What is this red stuff on the floor with this cup? What is this? I don't trust it. Look at this picture. Photo of Arthur with 2 young women. One of them matched the description of Inez. As for the other one, Was this Adeline Lefebvre, one of the Green Hearth 10? Computer, garbage. Where's the book? Oh, cup. Cup with some dregs of tea had been left on the coffee table. The lipstick marks led me to conclude that Magnus had a visitor recently. A gun! What was it doing under the couch? This was the weapon used to kill Raymond. It felt too easy just finding it here. Was someone trying to frame Magnus? Scenario had come into my mind. If Magnus at one point had the notebook, it was no longer in his apartment. And my gut told me that he didn't have it. Ines had beaten me to it and come to see him. She must have tried to convince him. Magnus had probably refused. So Ines had taken it for herself and used the opportunity to leave that gun behind to frame Magnus. I have to go and question Magnus. If he already noticed it disappeared, he must be furious. Another question intrigued me, though. How did Ines get the gun? Was she the murderer? It's getting more and more urgent that I question her. Bull was waiting for me at the apartment entry. It seemed wiser for us not to hang around. I promised to stop by the hotel and let him know what I found out. Let's go find Magnus. Detective, I suspected you'd be back to see me. I suppose you've come for the notebook. You're too late. Oh, really? What happened? Ines. She came into my home to talk. I suspected nothing, and she used that to steal the notebook from me. Any idea I can get it back? I don't know, Fox. Ines is scared out of her wits. As I told you, she's got more to lose than most of the other patients. After the incident, she became very close with another survivor of the Vitacocha project, Adeline. I believe they might be the only two among us to have built something, to have found happiness. Perhaps if you mention her partner, you might be able to reason for her. That's all I can tell you, I'm afraid, Fox. Adeline, Ines, and she seem to have been keeping out of it, at least until Inez's visit to the cabin. They lived together in Greenhearth. I had to find a way to question her. I needed to convince Ines to give me the notebook, and Adeline seemed to be the key. I found a gun hidden in your home. Oh, so it was you who broke into my apartment. How dare you? You may be right, Fox. I should have trusted you. As for the gun, I assure you I don't own any firearms. Wait, you think this is the gun that was used to kill Raymond? I promise you it wasn't I who did that. You believe me, don't you? We'll say we believe him. If you want to know what I think someone's trying to frame you. Inez, I don't think she'd be capable of that, detective. If she did, then someone suggested it to her. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm tired, Fox. Tired of this whole business. As for me, I'm going to follow Oscar Morrison. Follow Morrison? Where? He wants us to meet, to finish all this, once and for all. I don't know more than that. Magnus gave a small wave and left the diner. Nothing remained but for me to do the same and to hope Inez would respond to the mention of Adeline Lefebvre. Is Liz back? Did Liz come back to work? I surprised myself. Oh, here's Oscar. Monsieur Fox, what brings you here? Let me guess, you came to see Miss Cole. I believe she's unwell at present, but don't worry. Everything will soon be better. Look, Morrison, I don't know what game you're playing, but let me say, you're starting to get on my nerves. What exactly are you up to? Why are you trying to unite the patients? Ah, you're better informed than I suspected, Doctor. Or Detective, whatever. Let us say I'm trying to halt the machinery which is running amok in Greenhearth, and I need the 10 to do that. As for you, I have trusted you with my most prized possession, and I'm counting on you to keep it safe. And now, if you'll excuse me, so have a wonderful day. Wait! I've still got questions for you. I have nothing more to say to you, Mr. Fox. Please leave me. When everything is finished, we can speak freely. I'll explain everything. Until then, please don't try to follow me. Suddenly, I felt cold metal of the bell inside my pocket. A cold sweat crept up my back, and I gave an involuntary shudder. Oscar turned and left with a backwards glance. It took me a minute or two to collect myself. I'd learned nothing. I should have listened to him. I should have left that cursed place while I could. As for Liz, I hoped she was okay. Her absence worried me, but there was nothing I could do to help her. Let's go back to Ernest. So has the clue hunting been any good? Yes and no. The notebook I was looking for wasn't there, but I did find a gun. A gun? Do you think it was the weapon to kill Raymond? It's impossible to say without a ballistics report, but after the fire at the morgue, there's a good chance there won't be enough evidence. Do you think Magnus is the perpetrator? Hard to say. There's every reason to suspect the person who stole the notebook left that clue behind. Inez, do you know her? Yes, of course. I know exactly who she is, so she's the person you were looking for yesterday. Frankly, Mr. Fox, I don't believe she's responsible for Raymond's death. She's managed to build a good life here in Greenhearth, more stable than most of the patients. That could also be a motive. Although, if we assume she didn't kill Raymond, how did she get a hold of the murder weapon? I hope I get the chance to ask her, but I have to convince her to give me that notebook. Well, thank you for coming to fill me in. I'm touched by your trust, truly. As for me, I'm going to take some interest in the case of Oscar Morrison. He's up to something. Yes, from what I gather, he's trying to unite the patients. Exactly. But for what? I don't know. Which is to say that I'll be away from the hotel. Oh, he's going to go away to try to figure out what's going on? Okay, so who's in charge of the hotel now? Let's go to Pedro. Pedro is waiting for me. He promised to talk to Inez. I sincerely hope he'd manage to convince her. Hola, Senor Fox. The friend of me is okay to talk with you. I will be okay for her, yes? Nothing bad will happen like my friend Raymond. Don't worry, Pedro. I'll be discreet. I promise. And if I can convince her to give me the notebook, she'll be out of danger. De acuerdo, Senor Fox. I trust you. Pedro didn't look reassured. How could I blame him? Follow me. I walked with him to an alley behind a downtown building. Inez was waiting for us. Pedro let me know he had a lot of work to do in the garage and he left. I went over to the young woman who didn't seem pleased to meet me. Right, I believe you wanted to see me? I'm listening. Say what you gotta say and leave me alone. What do you want in exchange for the notebook? There's nothing you could offer me. I wouldn't give you the notebook for anything in the world. It's my only guarantee for safety. You're wrong. That notebook puts a target on your back. While you've got it, you'll be in danger. Oh, I don't plan to keep it long. I'm going to contact the press. Once this town is crawling with journalists, they won't be able to hurt us anymore. Who's they you're talking about? Oh, commercial break. Commercial break. We will be back in 3 minutes, friends. And we're back. Okay. So they. Who's the they? Oh, she knows. Tilkix, the foreman. They'll be back now that we remember. I can't let them do that. I've got too much to lose. It's going to be difficult to get her to see reason, and we still haven't talked about the gun. Something told me I should keep that to myself if I want a chance of getting a hold of the notebook. Her paranoia seemed out of control. Maybe I could turn that to my advantage. Gotta mention the partner. You're doing this for Adeline, aren't you? Adeline? How did you know? I know everything. It doesn't matter, but if you want to protect her, you need to give me that notebook and promise me you'll keep a low profile. You could even leave town. What do you say? Do you think so? Do you really think they'd let me leave with Adeline? In all honesty, I can't promise you that, but I'm absolutely certain if you contact the press, there will be reprisals. Do you really believe a few journalists are going to stop them? Who says they haven't got control of the media? Yeah, you might be right. So Inez, what do you say? Are you ready to give me the notebook? I don't have it on me. I'm going to let Adeline know, and I'll come back and give it to you before we leave town. You've convinced me. We'll meet back here. I'll be in touch. Time to go tell the sheriff. John is getting ready to leave, and I want to update you on my investigation. It'll have to wait. Something to do with the case. I just got some unpleasant orders from my supervisor, but I don't have time to tell you more. Things are speeding up, Fox, and our window from solving this case is getting smaller. The feds are coming back to Greenhearth. That's inevitable now. But if I obey my orders, that should give us a few more days. We'll talk later. A few minutes later, the phone rang. Inez telling me to meet her to get the notebook. Okay. When I reached the meeting point, she wasn't there. I was instantly assailed by doubts. Had something happened? Was it my fault? Maybe there were clues which can explain what happened while I was gone. Time to search for clues. Oh, this is one of her earrings, isn't it? Because she had earrings on. Looked like the one Inez wore, if memory didn't deceive me. What's this? Mirror? Little cosmetics bag. The mirror had broken and fallen. Uh-oh. She got beat up, didn't she? What's this? The notebook I'd come to find had landed between two trash cans. Luck? I opened the first page. Written in round, almost childlike writing, this is the diary of Abel Smith. The dot on the I was drawn like a heart. He was certainly one of Arthur's patients. I leafed quickly through it. The writing seemed to change from one page into the next, as if several people had scrawled through the pages. Decided to leave the detail for later. I didn't have time to study it, and I didn't plan on spending much time in this dark little street. These events in mind, the course of action seemed obvious. Inez had come back to wait for me with the notebook. Someone surprised her. There'd been an altercation, probably violent. Oh, that's probably the one we started to get flashes of. Inez had dropped the notebook, unless she had the presence of mind to throw it behind a trash can in the hope her attacker didn't find it first. I hoped the young woman was safe and sound, with the Greenhearth town marker in her rear-view mirror. But deep down, I guess that wasn't the case. Ah, shit. As I was getting ready to leave, I noticed a large figure blocking the exit. No, he's gonna hurt me! There was no point in trying to run. I was trapped. I let the man approach me calmly. I had some idea of who he was. Terry Graham, I presume? Got it in one, buddy. Think it's time you and I had a chat. That's why I'm here. Listen, Ricky. The 10 are getting ready to leave for the hospital. The research facility where the Viracocha project took place. You've heard of the Viracocha, right? I nodded. Anyway, I thought I'd suggest you come with me. I think we could do with a guy like you, if we're not going to kill each other. What do you say? My leads are drying up. All the patients in the same place. Maybe I can solve it. Maybe I can understand why Arthur is dead. To solve Raymond's murder. How can I say no? Right answer, buddy. You wanted to talk. If you've got questions, now's the time. And if you got stuff to sort out before we move out, no problemo. Do what you gotta do. I'll wait here. Did you fight Inez? I give her a beating? Certainly not. You saw me following you here, didn't you? If something happened to Inez, it's got no... Oh, shit. Who could have ambushed Inez? Why'd they leave the notebook? Where is she? What are you looking for in Arthur's cabin? The bell, of course. I wanted to get it before someone else got their mitts on it. I thought it would be at Arthur's by the time, but the cabin was gone. I thought Morrison or the sheriff, but in the end, according to Oscar, it's in a safe deposit box. Okay, so he doesn't know that we have the bell, so that's good. That's good. I was just security, but I can tell you the main study of the project was about that bell. Ah, okay, so we're learning more about the project. Can you understand why I'm glad none of the 10 have gotten a hold of it? You're afraid a new incident will happen. Exactly. Don't ask me what happened, please. Painful memories. Let's leave it at that if it's okay. Tell me about your past. What did you do at the hospital? There's not much to tell. I was in charge of security. After the incident, I could have lived on the pension the authorities gave us, but I took some jobs to keep myself in shape and not moping around like the rest of the 10. And then Petrovsky came, and that seriously screwed up the well-oiled clockwork of Greenhearth. I started to remember stuff I'd forgotten, stuff I wasn't supposed to know. You know the rest. I guess we're ready to go. In that case... One shot was enough to make Inez collapse like a rag doll, a bullet through the heart at point-blank range. The fact that she didn't suffer was poor consolation. I had no idea what she was doing in this alley, but it suited my business, well, or rather the Bureau's business. That was the moment I decided I had enough. Enough of their curt demands, enough being a pawn in their game. Stop! Those strange memories again! Those memories that didn't belong to me! Focus, Ricky, for Christ's sake! Yes! Terry! The hospital! That's where Oscar Morrison wanted to take the patients. After waiting all these years, I was finally gonna unlock the secret of Greenhearth. The next few hours promised to be extremely rich in revelations. My brother, perhaps your death would finally be avenged. I followed Morrison along the forest path. Pedro, Fera, Liz Cole, Adeline Lefebvre, he managed to convince them to follow him. But what for? I didn't know. Behind the rusty bars, a huge building, abandoned for years to the ravages of time. There, where everything began. Dun 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 dun! My sanity is slipping away. I have to remember something vital. That's why I have to keep on writing before the echoes of the bell consume me. Who am I? Ricky? I don't really know anymore. Who are we? Who are we? Your progress will be saved. Yes. All right. And those are the first 2 chapters of Echoes. And that is my somewhat atrocious voice acting. That's my atrocious voice acting. But I hope that you have enjoyed this. I'm going to continue to play this next week. And I'm going to see if we can get King to help us out with some of the voices. But yeah, that is Echoes. Beautiful game. I like that the artwork is different between the chapters. You can get it on Steam. You can get it on Switch. It's so far really cool. There's also different endings. So the ending that we're going to end up seeing won't necessarily be the actual ending. We could end up getting a bad ending, a good ending, somewhere in between. And I'm only going to play it once through, so we're only going to get one ending. If you really want to see other endings, then you'll have to play it for yourself. But we'll get through it. We will see. We're definitely losing some of our sanity, but maybe we can get through without waking up any Eldritch horrors. We'll see. I don't make any promises, but we'll see how far we can get without anything really awful happening to us. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that we make it through. We solve the murder. It doesn't quite sound like we'll get back home to our wife though, but it doesn't mean we're not going to try. It doesn't mean that we're not going to try. But I think I already know who we're going to raid because I haven't gotten a chance to raid her in about 2 months. And hopefully she didn't hear my really atrocious French accent. So let's go raid Midday, who is currently playing Fallout 4. Let's go show Midday some love. And a huge shout out to Nova Fox for the game. Highly appreciate that. Sorry, I'm not gonna lie, my voice is now starting to go. Thank you to Nova Box for the game. Please check them out over on Twitter. You can give them a follow, see what they're working on, see the different art styles, because they do highlight different examples of the art styles that you can go check out. But yeah, thank you all. We will continue this game next week. It won't be on Thursday. I don't know what day it'll be, but I will post a schedule on Twitter of when we are going to continue this. So until then, everybody, thank you all so much for hanging out, and I will catch you all next time. Bye, everybody!